Chapter 1128, was stable. He's too powerful. Our army, our general, is simply too powerful. Haha, that's right. However, the most powerful one is still Lord Wang Xian. Lord Wang Xian actually called for a powerful demonic beast race. His archery skills are simply too domineering. General Mang Hong is also very impressive. That gigantic saber radiance seems to be able to split the heaven and earth apart. Xing Guang is a legendary figure in Star Moon Kingdom, yet he was still chased and beaten by Lord Mang Hong. The most domineering ones are the experts of the Windai clan. They are simply too cool. They killed their enemies from thousands of miles away. That powerful Heavenly Moon sect's Heavenly Moon Soul Chaser was directly killed by more than half of the experts of the Windai clan. Lord Muzison is also very cool. He directly shot and killed an expert of the first and second rank of the Profound Void Realm. With Lord Wang in our Dragon Phoenix dynasty, there is no enemy that we can't defeat. I just feel that Lord Queen is the strongest. She killed an expert of the See-Through Realm in a single move. TSK, I almost knelt down at that time. When Feng Wan, Wang Xian, and the rest flew towards the city lord's residence, the citizens of Dragon Phoenix City were talking excitedly. They looked at everyone in the Dragon Phoenix army with admiration and yearning on their faces. The fact that Dragon Phoenix City withstood the attack of Star Moon Kingdom was undoubtedly a reassurance for everyone in Dragon Phoenix City. Following that, the thoughts of all the citizens became active. The current Dragon Phoenix Empire was just as the Queen had said. Everyone had the chance to become a powerhouse, and everyone had the chance to become a founding general. The Dragon Phoenix Empire possessed the power of the Star Moon Kingdom, and it would definitely develop in the future. Those who advanced together with the Empire would definitely receive top-notch treatment. The Dragon Phoenix Empire had just been established, and many positions were vacant. If they could join, they would be able to rise above others and live a better life. If the dynasty was strong, they would be strong as well. Moreover, now that the Dragon Phoenix dynasty had established the Dragon Phoenix Academy, the experts of the second level of the Insightful Emptiness Realm would personally guide them. Their children would enter the academy and become the first batch of students. In the future, they would definitely be able to have an official position and enjoy extremely high treatment. Lu Qianjun, Lu Hanhai, and Lu Qianhai, in today's battle with the Star Moon Kingdom, did not fear death. They fought to the death and died in the battle. As the hero of the Dragon Phoenix dynasty, the Queen will reward the only descendant of the Lu family, Lu Qing, with the bloodline of a group of demon beasts of the second level of the Insightful Emptiness Realm, and the Lu family, with their sacrifice for the Dragon Phoenix dynasty. In addition, in this battle, all the sacrificed citizens will be rewarded by Her Majesty the Queen. At this moment, Yu Chengzi's voice suddenly rang out in Dragon Phoenix City, causing all the citizens who were discussing to reveal shocked expressions on their faces. What? Reward the demon beast bloodline of the Profound Void second-rank Windai clan? Oh my god, if this is the Lu family ascending to the heavens in one step. I can't believe it. Is this true? They actually offered such a generous reward. The bloodline of the Profound Void second-rank demon beast is able to make the Lu family a top-notch family. Oh my god, the Lu family is a family that escaped from Shilai Town. It's an aristocratic family of mercenaries. When Shilai Town was destroyed, more than half of the family members died. After Lord Wang saved Dragon Phoenix City, they were very grateful to Lord Wang. This time, when Star Moon Kingdom invaded, the furious Lu family trio were the first to rush out. I didn't expect that the Queen actually rewarded such a terrifying thing. Everyone in Dragon Phoenix City froze. Many of them were trembling, and their eyes were burning. The sacrifice of 3 members of the family had exchanged for a demon beast bloodline at the second level of the Profound Void tier, and for the chance for their descendants to become top-tier experts. This was simply a great thing. As long as one pays for the Dragon Phoenix dynasty, one will receive a huge reward. These words appeared in the minds of all the citizens of Dragon Phoenix City, and their faces were filled with determination. Gathering the hearts of the people. At this moment, the hearts of the people of the Dragon Phoenix Empire were 100% gathered. Under the protection of the powerful array formation, the Queen wasn't stingy with her rewards, and the entire Dragon Phoenix Empire was united. This time, if someone came to attack Dragon Phoenix City, millions of people would rush out to fight. The one who won the hearts of the people would rule the world. Even if this was a matter where the strong were respected, this sentence still worked. Thank you, Queen. In the future, Lu Qing, am willing to bleed all the blood for the Dragon Phoenix dynasty. At this time, in the city lord's mansion, a young man knelt there with a respectful face and vowed with a resolute gaze. I believe that, go and fuse your bloodline into your body. The Dragon Phoenix dynasty will nurture you into a top-notch expert. Feng Luan said faintly to the young man who was kneeling in front of her. It's the Queen. The young man left respectfully. His body was trembling slightly. Thank you, Wang Xian. I don't know how to repay such a valuable item. In the hall, Jin Ganyuan, Meng Hong, and the rest were sitting on both sides. Wang Xian was sitting below Feng Luan. Beside him was Mao Zixin. Who are we? Don't be so calculative. I don't want to watch. When I'm already at the top of the supernatural continent, you're still working on a kingdom. Huh. Wang Xian laughed and said nonchalantly. Feng Luan looked at him and smiled. She rolled her eyes at him and said, all right, then I won't stand on ceremony. Hee hee. Wang Xian smiled faintly. I'm really envious of you. I can help you take care of the matters of the Dragon Palace. Feng Luan looked at him with slight envy. She looked at Jin Shenyuan and the rest and said, after this, the Dragon Phoenix City will be expanded rapidly. We will use the power that the entire Dragon Phoenix City can use. In addition, we will recruit city guards. It's the Queen. The group of people nodded respectfully and walked out. I don't know who young Master Wang is to be able to make the Queen so close to him. Moreover, that Wind Eye illusion arrow is actually one of young Master Wang's subordinates. The Wind Howl Kingdom wanted to obtain the Wind Eye illusion arrow's bloodline, which was why it broke apart. I didn't expect that Lord Wang would directly give it to the Queen. The four people walked out of the hall and said with a slight sigh. Jin Shenyuan, in particular, had a shocked expression on his face. He had given away the bloodline of a void interpretation level demon beast just like that, and the Queen had even directly rewarded the Lu family. Such a large sum of money made even his eyes burn with passion. This made him even more determined to follow the Queen. After the Star Moon Kingdom's invasion ended, the entire Dragon and Phoenix dynasty emitted a sense of vitality. Hundreds of thousands of people from the Dragon Phoenix dynasty began to expand the Imperial City. According to the plan, the Dragon Phoenix City would be expanded at least tenfold. Moreover, this was only the first expansion. The Dragon Phoenix dynasty had completely stabilized, and the Dragon Palace was also developing rapidly. Ao Qitian, Ao Qi, and the others led their subordinates to hunt fierce beasts in the surrounding waters. The corpses of fierce beasts turned into dragon blood. The strength of the members of the Dragon Palace was increasing every day. At this speed, it wouldn't be long before the entire Dragon Palace would be turned upside down. Chapter 1129, Floating Sea City. The spiritual energy in this Dragon Palace is even richer than some of the kingdom's paradises. I really don't understand why the difference between the Phoenix inheritance and yours is so great. Inside the Dragon Palace, Feng Luan looked at the Dragon Palace that covered an area of 80 kilometers with a shocked expression. On Earth, the Dragon Palace only had an area of 20 kilometers. However, the size of the Dragon Palace here had increased by 4 times, and the spiritual energy had doubled. A Dragon Palace as vast as the bottom of the sea was miles away from the current Dragon Phoenix City. Feng Luan, who had stayed in Dragon Phoenix City for more than 10 days, followed Wang Xian and the others to the Dragon Palace. She looked around in shock. Sister Feng Luan can come to the Dragon Palace frequently in the future. She can even stay here. It's proven that it's so close to Dragon Phoenix City. It's only a 10-minute flight. Guan Shuqing and the rest said with smiles on their faces. The Dragon Phoenix City was not very far from the Dragon Palace. With Feng Luan's speed, it would take less than 10 minutes. This is a good idea. Feng Luan did not refuse and nodded with a smile. In the next few days, Feng Luan spent most of her time in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian was also dealing with the matters of the Dragon Palace. Speaking of which, there was nothing much to do. Prime Minister Gui could handle the development and planning of the Dragon Palace. The only thing that required him to handle personally was the Dragon Assassin Organization. Currently, the Dragon Assassin Organization was preparing to enter other cities. With the current strength of the Dragon Assassin Organization, more than 100 level 6 extraordinary light assassins could definitely assassinate a level 8 extraordinary powerhouse. In addition to the group of 20 level 7 extraordinary individuals, the Dragon Assassin Organization could completely cover the entire Star Moon Kingdom. The speed at which the Dragon Assassin group earned resources couldn't be matched by all the members of the Dragon Palace combined. What? Feng Luan, who was in the Dragon King Palace to check on the situation in Dragon Phoenix City, suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Her eyes were sparkling as she looked at the information she had brought this morning. Floating Sea City, a floating sea city actually appeared in the sea area next to Star Moon Kingdom. Feng Luan's eyes flickered. She stood up slowly with a contemplative look on her face. Wang Xian, let me show you some information. She hesitated for a moment before walking over to Wang Xian, who was also reading the information. She passed the information in her hand to him. What? Wang Xian revealed a curious look on his face. He looked over and asked, Floating Sea City on the sea? What is this? He asked in surprise. It is similar to the floating island on your Earth. It is the private island of the strong. As the island is huge, it is also known as Floating Sea City. Feng Luan explained to him. The private island of the strong. What is the information on it? Will there be treasures or inheritances left behind by the strong on this island? Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan and asked her. It's possible. According to the information I got, there is a formation on this island. However, there is no one on it. It is an ownerless floating sea city. The appearance of this floating sea city has caused a huge commotion. Many forces are rushing there. To be able to possess an expert of the level of floating sea city, one must be at least at level 5 of the see-through realm or a powerful sect. Feng Luan explained to Wang Xian. Do you want to go and take a look? Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan. If you want to develop rapidly, you must have sufficient resources. If Dragon Phoenix City has the spiritual energy density of your Dragon Palace, how crazy would that be? Of course, it's impossible to have the spiritual energy of your Dragon Palace. However, you have to fight for some resources on your own. I have used up a lot of the information I have at the moment. Currently, the Dragon Phoenix Empire has not opened up any trade. It's all because I have taken out the resources. It won't last long. Feng Luan's eyes flickered. I want to go and take a look. You will go personally? Wang Xian looked at her in astonishment. Yes, the Dragon Phoenix Empire is stable now. I can go and take a look. Are you going? Feng Luan asked Wang Xian. Is it near Bright Moon City? Yes, I'll go there too. Wang Xian thought for a moment and nodded. The development of the Dragon Assassin Organization was about to start in another city. Bright Moon City was the second largest city in Star Moon Kingdom. He could make arrangements for the Dragon Assassin Organization this time. Alright, I'm only going to take a look this time. There might not be any gains. Feng Luan reminded Wang Xian. I'm going to deal with the Dragon Assassin Organization. The matter in Floating Sea City is just a side issue. Wang Xian smiled. Feng Luan looked at him and shook her head speechlessly. Let's go. If there's nothing else, let's set off now. Feng Luan said to him. Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head and left with Feng Luan after talking to the girls. he didn't bring Shu Qing and the rest. They were a little weak and their operation this time might be dangerous. Wang Xian and the rest flew towards Bright Moon City with 40 strange demons. I hope we can get a good harvest. After the expansion of Dragon Phoenix City is completed, we can carry out the next step. Feng Luan was obviously in a good mood these few days. While flying in the air, she said with a smile on her face. Such a huge floating sea city has been discovered. By now, it should have been completely plundered, right? Wang Xian looked at her and asked. Don't worry. With the strength of Star Moon Kingdom, they don't have the ability to plunder the entire floating sea city. They might not even be able to enter now. Right now, the floating sea city has only revealed 1 foot. The rest of the places are still in the maze formation. Feng Luan said to him. That's good. I hope we can get a good harvest. Wang Xian nodded his head. Bright Moon City was very far away from Dragon and Phoenix City. It would take at least 2 days to fly at full speed. Bright Moon City was much bigger than East Sea City. Its overall strength was only below Star Moon City. Flying in the sky, Wang Xian could be considered to have seen the vast supernatural continent. There were all kinds of plants and creatures, as well as all kinds of terrain. There were even trees that were thousands of meters tall. On the trees, there was a type of bird and beast whose strength had reached level 5 or 6 of the supernatural realm. In the wild, it was a paradise for ferocious beasts. They even saw a few groups of demon beasts. Wang Xian and the rest did not dare to make a move rashly. In Star Moon Kingdom, there were at most 20 human insightful emptiness realm experts. However, there were at least 40 to 50 or even more ferocious beasts in the wild that had reached the insightful emptiness realm. In the wild, if one were to kill wantonly, it would definitely attract the attention of powerful ferocious beasts and demon beasts. In the past 2 days, people were out of town. Today, the 3 chapters were all written in the hotel. There was only so much to write. There were still things to do. It felt like the quality of the writing had dropped a little. I'm sorry, readers. There will be an update on the 23rd or 24th of this month. There will be 40 updates on the same day. When I'm done, I'll go back and save my manuscript. I'll update it at the end of the month. Chapter 1130, on the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Where is that? Star Moon Kingdom was located at the seaside. Bright Moon City's terrain was somewhat similar to East Sea City. It was close to the vast ocean. However, when they flew over, they saw a shocking scene 2 to 3 kilometers into the ocean. In the ocean, there were at least tens of thousands of densely packed martial artists. Even at the edge of the city, there were tens of thousands of people standing there looking at the location of the ocean. Wang Xian looked over with a shocked expression on his face. In the ocean, there was a building that was 100 meters tall floating on the surface of the ocean. It was similar to a tower in the city. The entire body of the building was aqua blue and emitted a strong water elemental energy. The building that appeared out of thin air on the ocean naturally attracted everyone's attention. It's a formation. Moreover, it's a very powerful formation. One corner of the formation was destroyed, so it revealed a little of the situation inside. Feng Luan's eyes flickered as she stared at the location of the building. The two of them flew towards the seaside together. There are quite a number of experts. When Wang Xian and the rest approached the seaside, he swept his gaze across them and revealed a surprised expression. Around them, there were 4 insightful emptiness realm experts, half-step insightful emptiness realm experts, and even transcendent level 9 experts. There were dozens of them in total. There are 13 insightful emptiness realm experts in the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom. There are 2 here. There is 1 insightful emptiness realm expert from Heavenly Moon Sect and 1 from the royal family of Fengshao Kingdom. Feng Luan's gaze swept across them and her voice rang in Wang Xian's ears. The people of the Fengshao Kingdom are here as well. Wang Xian revealed a hint of surprise. The Fengshao Kingdom is close to Star Moon Kingdom and is slightly stronger than Star Moon Kingdom. In the past, the Fengshao kingdom was very strong. However, after the break with the Phoenix-eyed demonic beast clan, half of the insightful emptiness realm experts of the Fengshao kingdom died in that huge battle. As Feng Yuan spoke, she looked at Wang Xian who was beside her. Now, the Feng-eyed clan was Wang Xian's subordinate, a member of the Dragon Palace, and the former Feng-eyed clan. They had a good relationship with the Fengshao kingdom. However, as the Fengshao kingdom grew stronger at that time, they wanted the bloodline of the Feng-eyed clan's demon beast. As a result, a series of conflicts occurred. In the end, for some unknown reason, the Feng-eyed clan and the royal family of the Fengshao kingdom had a huge battle. More than half of the Windhull kingdom had lost their insightful emptiness realm experts. On the other hand, almost all of the Wind-Eye clan's insightful emptiness realm experts had been wiped out. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. He didn't know much about the past of the Wind-Eye clan. This formation is so powerful. Even the expert at level 3 of the insightful emptiness realm in the Windhull kingdom was unable to open the formation. This is a combination formation. A combination formation at level 3 of the insightful emptiness realm. The formation covers an area of 10 kilometers around the entire island. To break it, 5 to 6 insightful emptiness realm experts must join forces. This formation is really impressive. I wonder who left this island or what faction it belongs to. I wonder how long this island has been drifting in the ocean. I heard that the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom will send another expert of the Void Interpretation stage today. If we wait any longer, more experts will come. In the surroundings, the martial artists were conversing softly. Wang Xian looked over. His eyes were flashing with a demonic luster. The outline of an island appeared in his line of sight. However, due to his low strength, even the light dark fire dragon eyes could not see what was inside. However, with Wang Xian's Abhijna, the light dark no formation, he could ignore the formation outside and enter directly. The group of strange demons could also follow him and enter directly. He didn't choose to enter rashly. It was a mysterious island. No one knew the situation inside. If there were void-seeing creatures inside, it would be suicide to enter. Can you break this formation? Wang Xian asked Feng Yuan who was beside him. Yes, I can. However, when I break the formation, others will notice me. Moreover, once the formation is broken, others can enter as well. Feng Yuan nodded her head with a contemplative look on her face. Judging from their looks, it will be difficult for them to break the formation within a short period of time. Let's go to Bright Moon City first. Wang Xian said to Feng Yuan. She nodded her head and the two of them flew straight into Bright Moon City. When they arrived at Bright Moon City, they realized that the city was a little crowded. City guards were patrolling around vigilantly. It was obvious that the arrival of so many strong people had put a huge pressure on the security of Bright Moon City. Find a place to stay. We will stay in Bright Moon City for a few days. Wang Xian said to Feng Yuan. He wanted to wait for the arrival of the Draconids before he started to set up the Dragon Assassin organization in Bright Moon City. Sure. Feng Yuan nodded. She also knew the strength of the Dragon Assassin organization. This was a force that made her very envious. Once this assassin group was fully developed, the power of the Dragon Assassin group would be in existence that could shake the world. What a coincidence. Our restaurant only has one room left. Now, in the entire Bright Moon City, only the Western Region's restaurant still has rooms. The other restaurants are all full. Entering a restaurant, the manager smiled at them and said. There was only one room in the legends. A man and a woman living together in the same room? The truth was the same. Yes, cultivate in the room for the next few days. Feng Yuan said expressionlessly. With their cultivation level, cultivation could replace rest. Their bodies were free from dirt and didn't need to be cleaned. There was nothing inconvenient about it. All right, please come upstairs. The shopkeeper brought them to the third floor with a smile and opened a room for them. You have to settle your matters as soon as possible. She looked at Wang Xian and reminded him. Within 2 days, I will command the Dragon Assassin organization to shake the entire Bright Moon City. Wang Xian said confidently. There are many strong people in Bright Moon City now. Be careful. Feng Luan reminded him. Ao Yao, who was the strongest, was able to avoid the detection of a level 1 see-through void martial artist. However, a level 2 see-through void martial artist could already sense him. I know. Wang Xian nodded his head with a solemn expression. The good thing was that the 40 strange demons that he brought this time were the 40 strongest among the strange demons. 20 of them had the ability to assassinate a level 9 supernatural realm expert, while the other 20 had the ability to assassinate a level 8 supernatural realm expert. There was also Ao Yao. Young master, miss. Wang Xian ordered some food. Feng Luan was constantly paying attention to the information in Bright Moon City. She held the communication stone plate and kept checking. Not long after, there was the sound of knocking on the door as well as some noisy conversations. What's wrong? Wang Xian opened the door and asked a waiter curiously. Behind the waiter stood 3 young men and a group of middle-aged men. I'm very sorry, sir. Our restaurant has to vacate the entire 3rd floor. The waiter at the door said to Wang Xian with a smile on his face. Chapter 1131, Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Vacate the entire 3rd floor. Where are we staying then? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he heard the waiter's words and asked directly. We will give you double the compensation. Young master, please find another room to stay in. The waiter replied with a smile. I don't need double the compensation. Why? I have already stayed here for a night and now you want us to leave. At this moment, a furious voice came from the side. Wang Xian looked over and saw a burly middle-aged man staring at the waiter in front of him with bell-like eyes. The aura of an extraordinary level 6 was pressing down on him directly. If I tell you to scram, scram immediately. Don't bring trouble on yourself. Before the waiter could speak, 2 young men and a group of middle-aged men who were standing in the middle of the corridor looked over. A thin middle-aged man stared at him coldly. He looked extremely cold-blooded. The burly middle-aged man's face turned pale, as he stared at them in fear. This is Bright Moon City, if you dare to make a move here. Scram! The burly middle-aged man's face turned ugly as he spoke. However, before he could finish, the skinny middle-aged man interrupted him, looking at him coldly. The skinny middle-aged man's eyes didn't have any emotion. The aura of a rank 7 transcendent enveloped the burly middle-aged man. A killing intent that could penetrate one's heart caused the burly middle-aged man's expression to change drastically. He staggered slightly. All right, we'll leave now. The burly middle-aged man's eyes were filled with fear. Such a bone-piercing killing intent was definitely not an ordinary martial artist. An ordinary martial artist's body had more killing intent, which was obviously different from killing intent. However, the thin middle-aged man in front of him had a dense killing intent, which was obviously condensed from killing many people. Hurry up and get out of the way. The 3 young men standing at the front revealed a faint mocking expression, and one of the young men directly shouted. When the young man finished speaking, the middle-aged men around him revealed a terrifying killing intent in their eyes. For a moment, the entire corridor of the 3rd floor was extremely cold. Hurry up and scram. When the 3 young men saw this scene, a faint smile appeared on their faces as they spoke arrogantly. When Wang Xian saw this scene, he raised his eyebrows. Young master. When the waiter saw Wang Xian's indifferent look, he frowned slightly and shouted. Eh. The rest of the people on the 3rd floor left. Only Wang Xian remained standing there without moving an inch. Everyone's gaze was directed at him. What's wrong? Feng Luan's puzzled voice came from inside. It's nothing. A bunch of self-righteous fellows. Wang Xian said indifferently and closed the door. Kid, are you courting death? Everyone's expression changed slightly when they heard Wang Xian's words. The skinny middle-aged man looked at him. Scram! Wang Xian's expression turned cold instantly. The aura on his body trembled and a terrifying pressure was directed towards the group. A group of middle-aged men and 3 young men. The strongest one among them was only at level 8 of the extraordinary realm. How could they chase him and Feng Yuan away? The 3 young men and the group of young men felt the terrifying aura and their expressions changed slightly. Young master. The waiter standing in front of Wang Xian trembled and fell backward. His face was filled with fear. Don't disturb us. Wang Xian glanced at them with disdain and closed the door with a bang. This was the world of the strong. Even the owner of this restaurant could not chase people out casually. This was because offending a strong person would result in the retaliation of the strong person. This was especially so for a top-notch strong person like a transcendent level 9. Wang Xian's aura just now was that of a transcendent level 9. The 3 young men looked at the tightly shut door and their expressions changed drastically. Young masters, we. The waiter's face was extremely pale as he looked at the 3 young men. Young mastering, I can't let the city guards make a move in Bright Moon City. Furthermore, the other party. The young man standing on the left had a change in expression as he spoke to the young man in the middle with a dark expression. I know. Young mastering nodded with a dark expression as he looked at the tightly shut door. What an arrogant fellow. I'm warning you. Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you have the strength of a transcendent 9th rank. Don't think that you'll be safer in Bright Moon City either. Be careful. He said coldly to the door with a dark expression as he threatened. You're courting death. Don't come and disturb me. Otherwise, you have to be careful too. Hearing the threatening voice from outside, the corners of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly as he replied sarcastically. All right. Just you wait. When young mastering heard Wang Xian's words from inside the room, his eyes were filled with killing intent. Following that, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he muttered sinisterly, You dare to say such words to me? Interesting. When the 2 young men beside him saw his expression, their hearts trembled slightly. The group of middle-aged men behind them looked at Wang Xian's room in unison. Go and investigate them. I want to see who gave him the right to be arrogant. Young mastering said to the skinny middle-aged man behind him in a deep voice. The skinny middle-aged man immediately nodded his head. This time, my father spent a huge amount of money to obtain a few Lingwu fruits and nurtured 2 subordinates who are at the half-step void interpretation level. It's just right for them to give it a try. Young mastering walked towards a room as he muttered to himself. A faint smile appeared on his face. That dragon spike has brought us great pressure. However, fortunately, we have Sir here. This time, we have added 2 half-step profound void martial stage powerhouses. In the future, the world will still be ours. The young man on his right said with some flattery. Humph, dragon spike. If he dares to enter another city, then we will play with them. Young Master Ying's eyes were sparkling. But this time, my father has paid a huge price to obtain the Lingwu fruit. It's definitely worth it for the reward. The young man on the right said hurriedly. Young mastering smiled and looked at the room at the side again. I don't need to use my strongest strength to kill you. Many people have already forgotten that Undercurrent is the king of assassins in Star Moon Kingdom. Who are those people? In the room, Feng Yuan asked Wang Xian calmly. I don't know. No matter who he is, it's best that he doesn't provoke me in the next few days. Otherwise... Wang Xian smiled. Otherwise, he would dare to kill him even if he was the prince of Star Moon Kingdom. Then, he announced the arrival of the Dragon Assassin Organization. Time passed slowly and the moon gradually rose. Bright Moon City was still bustling with activity at night. The appearance of Floating Sea City caused many mercenary groups and powerful families to rush over. At the seashore outside the city, Starmoon Kingdom sent a team of over 1,000 experts to stand guard there, waiting for the formation to be activated. Clap clap. Around midnight, Feng Luan sat cross-legged on the bed to cultivate while Wang Xian sat cross-legged below. The faint sound of water could be heard suddenly. Chapter 1132, Floating Sea City was opened. Feng Luan and Wang Xian, who were cultivating, opened their eyes and looked at the door. A pool of liquid was slowly flowing into the room. Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head slowly and a name appeared in his mind. Undercurrent. Undercurrent Assassin Organization. It's actually an extraordinary level 9 assassin. When Xue Lu entered the room, Wang Xian revealed a look of astonishment. According to the rumors, the Undercurrent Assassin Organization could only assassinate people at level 9 of the supernatural realm. Now, they were sending top-notch assassins to kill him. His eyes flickered slightly as he looked to his left and right. At this moment, in the room on the left, a young man was sitting cross-legged on the bed. Beside him was a devilish blue mask. He was looking over with a smile on his face. It seems like this guy is part of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Furthermore, it is very likely that he is the descendant of the Master of Undercurrent. Wang Xian looked over and was deep in thought. He sat cross-legged and did not move. Feng Luan also slowly closed her eyes and ignored him. Feng Luan did not think much of an extraordinary level 9 assassin. Moreover, the first target of this assassin was Wang Xian. An assassin who dared to assassinate me? Wang Xian was slightly mocking. He felt an energy attacking him. The terrifying penetrating force was so strong that even if he was hit, he would still be injured. However, when the assassin with his calm eyes came to Wang Xian's surroundings, an invisible dagger attacked him instantly. The sound of penetration was heard, but the killer revealed a look of despair. He looked at his chest in disbelief. A ball of dark energy blocked his mouth, and he couldn't make any sound. Undercurrent Assassin Organization. Wang Xian looked at the killer who was in disbelief. A faint smile appeared on his face. Boom! 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 At this moment, a terrifying trembling sound was heard, causing Wang Xian to be slightly stunned. Feng Luan immediately stood up and looked at Wang Xian. The sound from Floating Sea City should be the sound of void interpretation experts breaking the formation forcefully. There are at least 3 to 4 second-level void interpretation experts. Let's go. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and said directly. Feng Luan nodded. Without any hesitation, she opened the window and jumped out. I'll let you live a little longer. Wang Xian looked at the room next to him and quickly flew toward the Floating Sea City. What's going on? It's the sound from the Floating Sea City. Someone is breaking the formation. Let's go quickly. If we can enter, there might be the inheritance of a void interpretation stage expert. It might even be the lair of a demonic beast race. At dawn, the terrifying attack that came from the seashore caused the entire Bright Moon City to tremble. Some of the martial artists hurriedly flew towards the seashore. At this moment, no one cared about the rules that forbade flying in the city. It's an expert from the royal family of Starmoon Kingdom. Starmoon Dove, it's a demonic beast, Starmoon Dove, the guardian demonic beast of the royal family of Starmoon Kingdom. Wang Xian and Feng Luan quickly flew towards Floating Sea City. Cries of surprise could be heard from the surroundings. In the sky, 2 Starmoon doves, which were about 10 meters in size, flapped their wings. They were exceptionally eye-catching in the sky. Half-step void interpretation demonic beast, Starmoon Dove. On top of the Starmoon doves stood a group of people. On top of the Starmoon doves stood 4 void interpretation experts, including the City Lord of Bright Moon City. The Starmoon dynasty sent 4 insightful Emptiness Realm experts. In addition to the 4 from the Starmoon dynasty, an elder from the Heavenly Moon sect was also close to the 4 from the Starmoon Kingdom. In addition, the Windhowl Kingdom had one level 3 Insightful Emptiness Realm Expert and one level 2 Insightful Emptiness Realm Expert. At this moment, this group of Insightful Emptiness Realm Experts were working together to attack the array formation. Breaking the array formation with force. At the back, there were at least 10,000 warriors, including half-step Insightful Emptiness Realm Experts and level 9 Transcendence. There were quite a number of such rare experts. At most, we will have to attack more than 10 times before the formation will be broken. Feng Luan watched as more and more buildings appeared. Her gaze was slightly focused. They are obviously united. In a while, without a team of void interpretation powerhouses, it will be impossible to enter. Wang Xian glanced at Feng Luan and said softly, "No, everyone can enter. The outermost part of this floating sea city is an illusion formation. Below the illusion formation is a killing formation. This floating sea city is not that simple. There will be dangers inside." Feng Luan's eyes sparkled. "Are you saying that we need someone to scout the way?" Wang Xian looked at her. "Yes, the killing formation inside is not complete. Clearly, there are a lot of problems due to the long duration. However, the more it is like this, the more it will reflect the danger of the floating sea city. It might even threaten the life of an Insightful Emptiness Realm Expert." Feng Luan nodded her head. "There's no need to rush. We can just follow the crowd in." "All right." Wang Xian nodded his head. His divine ability, the light and darkness formation, could ignore the formation. However, this did not mean that he could ignore the elemental attacks of the formation. However, he would not activate the formation. Without anyone controlling it, even if he were to barge in, he would not be in any danger. Boom! 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 The terrifying attacks landed on the formation one after another, causing everyone around to reveal horrified expressions. This time, the Kingdom of Howling Wind has really crossed the line. On the body of a star moon dove, a young man dressed in yellow clothes with his head slightly raised looked at the group of experts at the profound void tier and frowned slightly. "Third Prince, the Kingdom of Howling Wind has been getting restless in recent years, and their hands have been stretched out very long." An elder beside him said respectfully. "Humph, now that Father's strength has broken through, he really thinks that we, Starry Moon, are afraid of them." The young man snorted coldly. Standing on the body of a half-step void interpretation demonic beast, he looked down at everyone below, the corners of his mouth slightly mocking. "A bunch of chess pieces," he said indifferently, his gaze turning towards the huge floating sea city that was gradually exposed, his eyes burning with passion. "This should be the 100-beast city of that beast tamer from 300 years ago. If I can obtain the inheritance of the 100 patrol beast tamer senior." As he spoke, his eyes burned with passion. Boom! At this moment, a loud explosion sounded from the front. Everyone looked over, their eyes filled with excitement. The sky started to shatter like glass. Everyone's eyes widened as they stared intently inside. What is this? What dense spiritual energy? The spiritual energy here is almost double that of the outside world. 100 Beast City, look at that huge inscription over there. Tens of thousands of people in the surroundings looked over and shouted in shock. "Charge, charge, we'll charge over immediately. The first one to charge over will definitely reap more rewards. Isn't 100 Beast City the lair of the 100 Patrol Beast Tamer who is a 6th level profound void martial artist? Could it be?" When the formation was completely broken, a primitive floating sea city with a circumference of 10 kilometers appeared in their sight. Chapter 1133, 100 Patrol Elders. The formation was broken. When everyone looked at the floating sea city that was gradually becoming clearer, their faces were filled with shock. An island that looked like a city appeared in everyone's sight. However, this city was not like the humans. Instead, it was built with many nests. All kinds of nests were strangely shaped, causing the entire island to look extremely strange. At the edge of floating sea city, there was a huge inscription. On it were three powerful words, 100 Beast City. Around these three words, there was a pattern of all kinds of demonic beasts. When the array was broken, everyone around had excited expressions on their faces. All of them looked into Floating Sea City with fervent gazes. It's the 100 Patrol Beast Tamer, the 100 Patrol Elder, who once shook the entire Flowing Sea region. Oh my god, this is his 100 Beast City. Rumor has it that the 100 Beast City is extremely mysterious. There was once a dynasty that offended the 100 Patrol Elder. In the end, the 100 Patrol Elder led his ferocious beast army to attack that dynasty's imperial city and destroyed it in one night. How terrifying! When everyone looked at the 100 Beast City, some of them immediately recognized the origins of the 100 Beast City. The 100 Patrol Elder was a Grandmaster Beast Tamer. Beast tamers, alchemists, and weapon refiners were all relatively special professions, especially beast tamers. Beast tamers learned from demonic beasts. Demonic beasts could control fierce beasts through their bloodlines, and some of the human experts had studied and learned this technique. However, beast tamers had a huge restriction, and that was that one had to have high-level demonic beasts and fierce beast bloodlines. However, the Baisun Elder was a legendary figure, which was why he was passed down in the area of the Flowing Sea. One had to know that the Flowing Sea area contained more than 20 countries, with a population of over 10 billion people. The Baisun Elder only possessed the bloodline of a half-step void interpretation level demon beast. However, he used his unique beast taming technique to allow himself and a 6th level void interpretation tarsal bone demon beast to enter his body. Tarsal bone demon beast, as its name implied, was a special demon beast. This demon beast could enter the body of other creatures. It could bestow power to the person being possessed, and it could also make the person die quickly. Old Man Baisun completely controlled this rank 6 void interpretation tarsal bone demon beast, so his strength was comparable to a rank 6 void interpretation level demon beast. No one knew the process, but Old Man Baisun's strength and reputation were known by everyone in the entire Flowing Sea region. He was once the strongest person in the Flowing Sea region, an existence that could destroy an entire country with just one person. Charge, hurry up and enter. Ah, the 100 Beast City of the 100 Patrol Master. If I can obtain the tarsal bone demonic beast, then I will be able to ascend to the heavens in one step. Enter, we must enter. In the surroundings, tens of thousands of martial artists flew towards the 100 Beast City with excited faces. In the sky, 7 profound void martial artists floated in the air, their eyes flickering as they stared at the 100 Beast City. They were not the first to enter. 100 Beast City. I didn't expect it to be the 100 Beast City of the 100 Patrol Master. However, the 100 Beast City before us is only 10 kilometers in radius. It seems like this is only a part of the 100 Beast City of the 100 Patrol Master. An old man from the Star Moon Kingdom dressed in a python robe looked down as he muttered. It is rumored that 300 years ago, the 100 Patrol Master offended a kingdom in the vast sea region, causing the tarsal bone demonic beast to be heavily injured. Since then, the 100 Patrol Master has disappeared from everyone's sight. Could this place be? An old man holding a staff beside the old man in the python robe said softly. This matter concerns the 100 Patrol Master. This 100 Beast City is definitely not simple. You must know that the 100 Patrol Master once controlled more than a dozen void interpretation level demon beasts. He even had a 5th level void interpretation level demon beast. The few void interpretation level experts had solemn expressions. This matter concerned a peak level void interpretation level 6th level expert. They could not afford to be careless. In the sky, the 7 insightful emptiness realm experts looked at each other, but they did not make a move. They needed the group of people below to scout the way. If there was danger, they could also respond. Among the surrounding 10,000 experts, 50% of them hesitated for a moment before flying directly into the 100 Beast City. The things left behind by a top-tier expert in the Flowing Sea region, even if they only obtained a little, were enough for them to go all out. As martial artists who frequently dealt with life and death situations, their courage was unimaginable. One by one, the martial artists sized up the 100-beast city warily and landed in different places. Let's go, we'll go as well. Wang Xian's pair of dark fire dragon eyes swept across the 100-beast city. He looked at Feng Luan and said directly, "All right." Feng Luan nodded her head. Even if she didn't have powerful ocular skills, with her past experience, she wasn't someone that could be compared to an insightful emptiness realm expert. At this moment, the two of them were wearing a black mask. A shadow mask, a void interpretation level concealment mask. After wearing the mask, one would be able to conceal one's figure, and outsiders would not be able to see clearly whether it was a man or a woman. The two of them moved, blending in with the tens of thousands of people, and flew directly towards the 100-beast city. In the sky, the 7 void interpretation experts still did not move. Standing on the star moon dove, the third prince watched as the group of people swarmed towards the 100-beast city, and a faint smile appeared on his face. "Let's go, we'll go too." With that said, the third prince's body moved, and he directly flew towards the location below. Yes! The 2 old men and 4 middle-aged men beside him immediately followed behind. Let's go in. We can't be the first to enter, but we can't fall behind either." Some clans with transcendent Tier 9 experts also began to move at this moment. Each of these nests has an array formation. Moreover, the level of the array formation is not low. The owner of the 100-beast city is really powerful. When he landed at the edge of the 100-beast city, Wang Xian looked at the nests in front of him with a shocked expression on his face. Each of the nests had an array formation covering them. How big of an effort was this? According to what I heard from the surroundings, if this old man Bai Sun possesses the strength of a level 6 void interpretation expert, it wouldn't be difficult for him to build a 100-beast city. Feng Luan sized up the surroundings. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. It was indeed the case. A level 6 see-through cultivator could definitely build a dynasty. The wealth of such a powerhouse was far beyond the imagination of others. Roar! Ah! At this moment, the sound of a beast's roar was suddenly heard along with a scream. Wang Xian turned around and saw a level 7 supernatural beast rushing out from a nest. Its eyes were bloodshot as it attacked the group of people in front of it in a frenzy. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and sized up the surrounding nests. There were at least tens of thousands of nests in the entire 100-beast city. Some of the nests had ferocious beasts in them. These ferocious beasts were sleeping in their nests. The operation of the formation maintained their vitality. And just rushed out of the fierce beasts, the formation was destroyed, fierce directly mad. Chapter 1134, Ferocious Beast Pet Egg. Kill this ferocious beast, hurry up, hurry up. Angry voices came from afar as the group attacked the transcendent level 7 ferocious beast. There might be ferocious beasts in the nest. The weakest one should be at transcendent level 7. Everyone, be careful. Don't open the array formation and see if there are any spiritual herbs. Some of the weaker ones looked over and warned loudly in fear. Any random array formation would be a transcendent 7th rank. Among the 10,000 people present, there weren't many that could be dealt with. Pet egg, the pet egg of a transcendent 7th rank ferocious beast. We're rich. However, at this moment, an excited roar suddenly sounded, causing everyone in 100-beast city to be slightly stunned. What? A pet egg? There's a pet egg in the nest? A pet egg, a transcendent 7th grade pet egg. This is worth 10 million middle grade spirit stones, oh my god. The news of a pet egg in the nest caused everyone to go crazy. Everyone knew the value of a pet egg. Even a transcendent 7th grade pet egg was worth tens of millions of middle grade spirit stones. Tens of millions of mid-grade spirit stones was a huge amount of money to a powerful family. To those mercenary groups, it was even more precious. Break the nest's array formation, everyone get ready. Anyone who wants to join forces, let's open the array formation together and request for a 7th ranked transcendent expert. The eyes of the martial artists began to heat up. Everyone looked at the surrounding nests, their eyes filled with greed. Pet egg? Feng Luan's eyes flickered when she heard the voices of the people around her. The value of a pet egg was also of great use to her. A pet egg? Wang Xian revealed a smile as he scanned his surroundings. At this moment, a group of people in front were trying to crack the array formation. The level of the array formation of the ferocious beast nest was not very high, and it was not a defensive or protective array formation. Therefore, it was not difficult to crack it. However, no one knew whether the interior of the lair was a violent ferocious beast or a pet egg. The probability of a violent ferocious beast was higher. Can you investigate the situation inside? Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan and asked her directly. No, but even if it's a ferocious beast in the lair, it's easy to deal with it. A faint smile appeared on Feng Luan's face. Should we split up? Wang Xian looked at her and said with a smile. Alright, you won't get anything by my side either. Feng Luan said confidently. Her strength had already reached level 1 of the see-through realm. Furthermore, with her experience, she could fight against a powerhouse at level 2 of the see-through realm. Even a powerhouse at level 3 of the see-through realm would find it difficult to kill her. If she wanted to break the formation of the surrounding lairs, it would be a piece of cake. Even if there were ferocious beasts inside, she could easily kill them. She also knew Wang Xian's strength. He had yet to reach the see-through realm. There was a huge gap between him and her if he had yet to reach the see-through realm. Alright. Wang Xian smiled faintly. After shrugging his shoulders, he walked to the side. Feng Luan smiled and walked in the opposite direction. Hee, this place is a treasure trove to me. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with a demonic glow. His body moved and he floated in the air for 10 meters. His demonic eyes scanned through the nests. Some of the nests were made of wood and some were made of stone. The bigger ones were more than 10 meters in size while the smaller ones were 3 to 4 meters in size. Before the formation was broken, the ferocious beasts inside could not be seen at all. They could only rely on their own luck. However, this was only for others. The level of the formation was not high. Wang Xian's light dark fire dragon eyes could completely penetrate it. He looked at the 7 insightful emptiness realm experts in the sky outside. At this moment, the 7 of them were frowning as they looked down. Clearly, the pet eggs were quite attractive to them. However, their attention was placed at the center of the hall. There was a majestic hall. The corner that was exposed not too long ago was a corner of the hall. This hall was extremely fast. It was different from the ordinary human halls. The hall there was more like a huge nest. Ao Yao, be careful. Stay away from those insightful emptiness realm experts. Wang Xian retracted his gaze and his voice was transmitted into the minds of the surrounding strange demons. It's the Dragon King. The group of strange demons immediately responded. There's a pet egg in that black wooden nest. There's one in the white jade nest as well. There's a pet egg 300 meters ahead. There's one in the nest that the 20 people on the right are preparing to break open. As Wang Xian spoke, the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. He had seen all the lairs within a radius of 1,000 meters. Ao Yao and the rest immediately accepted the order. They entered the lairs silently. That's right, they entered directly. The Light Thorn's ability had no formation. It could ignore the formation. The group of strange demon gods entered without anyone noticing. They easily took out the pet eggs one by one. The formation was not damaged and there were no fluctuations. 14. The harvest is not bad. Wang Xian moved his body and immediately flew to another location at a rapid speed. More than 10,000 people entered the 100-beast city, causing the surroundings to be filled with people. Wang Xian flew in the sky and did not stand out at all. After flying for 1,000 meters to the left at a rapid speed, Wang Xian's dragon eyes of light and dark fire scanned his surroundings again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wang Xian scanned all the places and transmitted his voice to Ao Yao and the rest. His speed was so fast that it could almost be described as sweeping. One by one, the pet eggs were easily discovered. Then, they quickly shifted their positions. The 100 Beasts city was only a radius of 10 kilometers. With his speed, Wang Xian had already swept around 5 kilometers in a short 5 minutes. Fuck, I've broken through more than 10 nests, but I didn't find any pet eggs. Yeah, my luck is really bad. Come, let's go to the central area to take a look. Wang Xian was floating in the sky. A level 9 supernatural realm expert and his subordinates around him roared with an embarrassed look on their faces. Roar, roar. At this moment, an even more majestic beast roar was heard. Everyone looked over at the same time. It's near the central area. This roar is at least at Transcendent level 9. Someone is near the central area. Should we go and fight? The beasts inside the nest are no longer something we can deal with. Compared to the outside, there are more than 1,000 nests inside. It's very likely that they are all at Transcendent level 9 or higher. However, if we can get a Transcendent level 9 pet egg, we will be rich. Many people looked forward. There was fear and desire on their faces. Danger and opportunity coexisted. Wang Xian's figure moved. Without any hesitation, he flew straight towards the center. The powerhouses who were at half-step void interpretation also gave up on the layers outside and rushed forward. Chapter 1135, Pups of the Void Interpretation Demonic Beast. Transcendent Level 8, Transcendent Level 9, Half-Step Void Interpretation. When Wang Xian walked forward, his gaze swept across the lair in front of him. When he saw the level of the ferocious beasts inside, his face revealed a look of surprise. This was not the most central location. The most central location was the main hall. On the left and right of the main hall, there were 2 lion-shaped lairs. The 2 lairs were 20 meters in size and were golden in color. Compared to the other lairs, they looked extremely majestic. That was the most central area in the entire Beast City. Wang Xian had a hunch that there were at least void interpretation level ferocious beasts inside. Let's get the pet eggs here first. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he started to scan his surroundings. There were only over 1,000 lairs in this area. The formations in the lairs were more powerful. It was slightly strenuous for Wang Xian to use his light and dark fire dragon eyes to check. Fortunately, these formations were only at Transcendent level 7 or so. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, Wang Xian felt a powerful aura flying towards him. He turned his head and saw a young man in a yellow robe flying towards him with his subordinates. The young man scanned his surroundings coldly. His gaze landed on Wang Xian before he turned to the side. Level 8 of Transcendence, 2 half-step void interpretation and 4 level 9 of Transcendence. This young man's identity is not simple. Wang Xian took a look and thought to himself. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, an even faster and more terrifying aura descended, causing Wang Xian's expression to change slightly. Not good, the void interpretation experts are here. Wang Xian looked over and saw 7 void interpretation experts flying over. It seems that the void interpretation experts could no longer sit still after realizing that there was no danger. Wang Xian thought to himself. Even Feng Luan thought that there would be danger here. However, after such a long time, there wouldn't be any danger unless they broke the formation of the lair. Facing the pet eggs one by one, they immediately took action. Quick, quick! Wang Xian turned his gaze to the side. His eyes flickered with a demonic luster as he looked into the lairs one by one. Ao Yao, tell him to stay away from the insightful emptiness realm experts. He must not be discovered. Wang Xian said hurriedly. With a move of his body, he flew into one of the nests. Under the circumstances where no one was paying attention to him, he entered the nest directly and put the pet eggs into the storage spirit bag. As the pet eggs were alive, the interspatial ring could not store pet eggs. A small pet egg was about half a meter in size and was very eye-catching. However, Wang Xian, who possessed the storage spirit bag, did not have such concerns. Ha! When Wang Xian came out of the nest, the yellow-robed young man frowned slightly and looked in his direction. Wang Xian sensed his gaze and stood there without moving. He scanned his surroundings and ordered the Ao Yao Yao to enter the nest. Everyone, evacuate from here. Otherwise, die. At this moment, a terrifying aura came directly towards them, causing Wang Xian's expression to change drastically. The transcendent level 9 and half-step void interpretation experts who had rushed over also had a slight change in expression. Only the young man in yellow robes and the other experts who were dressed in the Sky Moon sect's attire remained unperturbed. This. Everyone's faces revealed a trace of bitterness when they saw the cold and murderous gazes of the 7 insightful void martial experts. These 7 insightful void martial experts clearly wanted to monopolize this area and prohibit anyone from entering. Scram! The 2 insightful void martial experts from the Howling Wind Kingdom saw that they had yet to leave. They slightly raised their brows and roared in a low voice. A terrifying aura swept down like a tornado. Cold sweat broke out on the foreheads of everyone who entered this area, and they retreated in fear. Who is it? It's disturbing our master's slumber. However, suddenly, a muffled voice sounded. This voice caused everyone's hair to stand on end, and their pupils constricted slightly as they looked towards the great hall 1,000 meters away. Caw caw, caw caw. On the left and right side of the great hall, there were 2 enormous metal lions. At this moment, the eyes of these 2 lions actually slowly opened, and they looked towards the 7 insightful emptiness realm experts in the sky without the slightest reaction. What? When the surrounding people saw the 2 golden lions that were 20 meters in size 1,000 meters away, their faces revealed a stunned expression. Everyone thought that the 2 golden lions were a nest. That was because they could not see any signs of life on the golden lions. Their mouths were wide open on the ground and there was a deep hole. Everyone thought that this was a nest of ferocious beasts. Even Wang Xian thought so. However, he did not expect that this was a void interpretation level ferocious beast that possessed life. Moreover, these 2 beasts could even speak human language. It's a burst-mouthed golden lion. It's actually a burst-mouthed golden lion. Moreover, it was trained by the 100 patrol elders to be able to speak human language. Oh my god! A half-step void interpretation expert revealed a shocked expression. Burst-mouthed golden lion was a metal-type beast. Its strength was incomparably terrifying. And these 2 burst-mouthed golden lions did not seem to have any life force on their bodies. One could not tell the depth of their strength. Hiss, not good, our aura has disturbed them. The Heavenly Moon sect's insightful emptiness realm expert's expression changed slightly, and he stared at the 2 20-meter large golden lions with a grave expression. The Howling Wind Kingdom's insightful emptiness realm level 3 expert also slightly frowned. You dare disturb Master's slumber, you deserve to die. Caw 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 caw. The 2 golden lions slowly stood up, their bodies emitting mechanical sounds, and the coldness in their eyes slowly turned into savagery. Not good, their strength is at the 3rd level of the Profound Void tier. 2 3rd level of the Profound Void tier, we're in big trouble. No, the aura on their bodies is a little weak, perhaps it's because they haven't eaten for a long time. The 7 Profound Void tier experts in the sky revealed an embarrassed expression. Looking at the golden lions that were gradually becoming savagery, they held the weapons in their hands with vigilance. Clang, clang, clang. At this time, the 2 explosive golden lions suddenly raised their heads. Their mouths that were 7 to 8 meters in size slowly revealed their golden teeth. 2 huge fangs that were 10 meters long extended out, looking incomparably violent. Bang! A terrifying aura was emitted from their bodies. They bent down and directly slashed towards the 7 Profound Void martial experts in the sky. The expressions of the 7 Profound Void martial artists changed drastically. Their bodies are weak. Let's kill them first. An expert from Starmoon Kingdom shouted loudly. Kill! The 7 people did not hesitate in the slightest as they directly charged towards the 2 explosive golden lions. What a good opportunity! The 9 profound void martial experts launched a great battle in the sky, causing the expressions of the people below to reveal excitement. Earlier, the 7 insightful void tier experts had wanted to chase them out, but now that the insightful void tier experts were being held back by 2 ferocious beasts, it was actually an opportunity for them. As for the group of martial artists at the edge of the 100-beast city, when they saw the might of the insightful void tier experts, their expressions changed drastically, but they still gritted their teeth and continued to break through the array to search for the pet eggs. Caw caw caw. However, at this moment, something that no one had expected happened. Chapter 1136, was the cub of the void interpretation demonic beast. Crack crack crack. Roar roar roar. The entire 100-beast city, along with the roars of the 2 golden lions, underwent a terrifying transformation. All the nests and ferocious beasts were directly awakened. One nest after another trembled slightly, and the array formation shattered like a mirror. This scene caused all the martial artists in the 100-beast city to be stunned. Especially those who were preparing to break the array formation. When they saw that the array formation was broken and the roars of fierce beasts came from inside, their faces showed fear. Roar! 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 At this moment the entire 100-beast city suddenly emitted a terrifying roar. One fierce beast after another rushed out of their lairs with blood-red eyes. They looked at the surrounding humans and pounced on them as if they were bloodthirsty. Not good, all the arrays have been broken. All the ferocious beasts have come out. Oh my god, run, run. In an instant, the faces of everyone in the surroundings were filled with terror. There were over 10,000 ferocious beast lairs in the entire 100-beast city. In each of the lairs, the weakest ferocious beast was at the 7th rank of the extraordinary realm. And in this group of them, in the span of half an hour, they had only opened over 1,000 lairs. There were still many lairs that they had yet to open. However, when all the ferocious beasts in the lairs came out, it was no less than a huge disaster for them. Everyone had a look of fear on their faces. Without any hesitation, they fled into the distance. Wang Xian, who was close to the central area, was also slightly stunned. He raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw the ferocious beasts that were emitting a terrifying aura coming out of the lairs. Around him, the weakest among the huge nests was at level 8 of the supernatural realm. The strong ones were able to reach half-step void interpretation realm. However, this is also a good opportunity to fish in troubled waters. A faint smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. He quickly scanned his surroundings. This was because at this moment, there was no need for him to use his light and dark fire dragon eyes to check. There must be pet eggs before he could rush out of the nest of the ferocious beasts. All deviant demons, make your move. Since the void interpretation experts in the sky were restricted, Wang Xian did not hesitate to let the deviant demons and the rest make their move. Under this chaotic environment, the 40 deviant demons were like fish in the water. Wang Xian looked at a sealed lair and rushed towards it. Buzz! The spell-free divine ability allowed him to enter directly. When he saw the 2-meter-sized pet egg, he revealed an excited expression. Half-step void interpretation. The half-step void interpretation pet egg that Feng Luan had auctioned previously was worth billions of middle-grade spirit stones. After keeping it in his spirit pouch, Wang Xian immediately rushed out. Who is it? However, the moment Wang Xian came out, a cold voice was heard. A few pairs of eyes were staring at him. Wang Xian looked over and raised his eyebrows slightly. He immediately rushed to another place. This guy? The third prince, who was dressed in a yellow robe, frowned as he stared at Wang Xian's figure. His eyes flickered as he looked at the formation behind him that was still unbroken. That mysterious person's strength is not weaker than a transcendent level 9. He should have some special treasures on him that can enter the lair directly. An elder beside him said to Wang Xian in a deep voice. Pay attention to that kid. We should take this opportunity to look for the pet egg. The third prince nodded. The surrounding ferocious beasts did not pose much of a threat to them. The strength beside him was sufficient to deal with these ferocious beasts. Boom! Boom! The two old men beside him waved their arms. Their attacks landed on the ferocious beasts that were attacking him and killed them immediately. Their target was also the surrounding ferocious beasts that didn't charge out of their nests. Many people around them had noticed this. However, with their strength, they couldn't escape in time when facing the thousands of top-notch ferocious beasts around them. Compared to the rest, the strange demons entered the nests one by one and easily took out the pet eggs and handed them to Wang Xian. Wang Xian revealed a big smile. Take them for me. I'm going in. At this moment, Feng Luan's voice rang in his ears. Following that, he saw 6 pet eggs being thrown in front of him. 4 of them were at Transcendent Level 7, 1 of them was at Transcendent Level 8, and 1 of them was at Transcendent Level 9. Wang Xian quickly looked over and saw Feng Luan flying directly towards the central hall. TSK, Feng Luan, this is the real fish in troubled waters. Wang Xian chuckled and placed the pet egg into his storage spirit bag. Then, he looked towards the front once again. At the back, all the nests had been searched by the strange demon and the rest. Only the dozens of nests at the front had not been checked. Wang Xian moved his body and flew directly towards the location closest to the central hall. There's one. When Wang Xian saw the dozens of nests at the front, he was pleasantly surprised. He moved his body and flew over. Get lost! At this moment, a cold shout came from behind. Wang Xian swept his gaze across and frowned slightly. However, he ignored it and flew straight towards the nest. Crack! Crack! However, just as Wang Xian flew to the front of the nest, the formation of the nest in front of him suddenly broke apart. He frowned slightly and a demonic glow flashed in his eyes. Just as Wang Xian was about to check out what kind of ferocious beast was inside, a small head popped out. It was only the size of a fist. One of its blue and one of its red eyes looked at Wang Xian curiously. Meow! It opened its mouth and meowed. Its body twisted slightly as it emerged from the formation. It had a red and blue glow and looked extremely exquisite. What was even stranger was that it had 2 tails. The red tail and the blue tail looked very cute. Icefire Civet Cat, it's an Icefire Civet Cat. Suddenly, an excited voice sounded from behind. Wang Xian sensed a pair of fiery eyes looking in his direction. Icefire Civet Cat, a rare demonic beast cub, a rare dual attribute demonic beast. The exact strength of its bloodline is unknown. However, the strongest Icefire Civet Cat has reached the terrifying 5th level of the Void Interpretation realm. I must get it, I must get it. A low roar of intense desire was heard. However, at this moment, Wang Xian's body started to move. Without any hesitation, he directly grabbed at the Icefire Civet Cat. Meow! When the Icefire Civet Cat saw Wang Xian pouncing towards it, it actually pounced towards him. Wang Xian was slightly delighted. A smile appeared on his face as he grabbed the Icefire Civet Cat and flew into the distance. Stop right there. Hand it over to me. Quick, hand it over to me. From behind, the third prince was flustered and exasperated as he roared with all his might. Chase after him. You must catch up to him. You must get the Icefire Civet Cat. The third prince shouted at Wang Xian with bloodshot eyes. He must get the Fire and Ice Civet Cat cub. Once he got it, the throne of Star Moon Kingdom would be his in the future. Chapter 1137, Feud. In Star Moon Kingdom, the current king was a peak existence at the 4th level of the Void Interpretation realm. A void interpretation expert possessed a lifespan of 1,000 years. As a king, he could have several hundred descendants. The third prince was only one of them. He had over 100 brothers and sisters. Although their father was young now, all the princes had to think about their future. The third prince's current extraordinary 8th rank cultivation was not bad among the princes, but he was still far from inheriting the throne. At the very least, he had to break through to the profound void tier before he had the right to inherit the throne. However, to become a profound void tier powerhouse, even if he was a prince, it would be very difficult. He might not even be able to advance to the profound void tier in his entire life. He was not confident, but if he could obtain the Frostfire Civet Cat's cub, he would be able to ascend to the heavens in a single step. In history, the strongest Frostfire Civet Cat had reached the 5th level of the Void Interpretation realm. Its strength at the 5th level was already higher than his father's. If he obtained the Frostfire Civet Cat, then in the future, even if he had not reached the Void Interpretation realm, the throne of Starmoon Kingdom would still belong to him. No one had the ability to compete with him. This was also the instant he saw the Icefire Civet Cat, the roar of desire and loss of self-control. Icefire Civet Cat. The two elders next to the third prince were slightly stunned, and then their eyes revealed a fiery expression. They naturally knew about the Icefire Civet Cat, and they also knew what the Icefire Civet Cat was surprised by for their third prince. Originally, the third prince was one of the advantageous competitors for the throne. They were willing to follow the third prince because they hoped that he could inherit the throne. But now, as long as the third prince obtained the Icefire Civet Cat, he would be able to obtain the throne with 100% certainty. This was extremely important to them. Hand over the demon beast cub in your hands. Otherwise, you can forget about escaping even if you go to the heavens or the earth. The two old men roared coldly. Their bodies moved and they chased after them at a terrifying speed. The third prince's eyes were also burning with excitement. "Fuck, they are still chasing after us. Since I have taken it away, why would I let you guys take it back?" Wang Xian looked at the group of people who were chasing after him at a fast speed. A hint of coldness appeared on his face. He sped up and ran straight towards the beach. Fire pattern roar. Arcane art traction. At this moment, two cold voices came from behind him. Wang Xian instantly felt two terrifying attacks coming towards him. Fire patterns that were like fire snakes interweaved in the sky and attacked Wang Xian rapidly. Under the ground, thorns emerged from the ground and twined around his body. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. The two half-step void interpretation stage powerhouses launched their attacks directly. Even he had to use his full strength to deal with them. Especially in his human form, it was a little troublesome. Earth Dragon Shield. His body shook and pieces of earthy yellow dragon scales appeared faintly on his body. Following that, the dragon scales floated up and surrounded him. Boom! 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 The flames and thorns landed on the Earth Dragon Shield, causing it to tremble violently. The Earth Dragon Shield was Wang Xian's only defensive ability. Crack! Crack! This is bad. I can't block it unless I transform into a divine dragon. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. However, if he were to transform into a divine dragon, his identity would be exposed instantly. When he was in Shanghai town, everyone knew that he could transform into a huge demonic beast. The experts from Starmoon Kingdom would also know about it. Once they knew about it, they would definitely kill him. Damn it! Wang Xian's entire body trembled. Numerous scales appeared on his body and he took the remaining attacks head-on. A mouthful of fresh blood couldn't help but be spat out from Wang Xian's mouth. Meow! However, when Wang Xian spat out the fresh blood, the Icefire Civet Cat in his embrace revealed an excited expression. It moved its mouth slightly and sucked the fresh blood into its mouth. Meow! Its blue and fiery red eyes stared at Wang Xian's mouth excitedly. It couldn't help but lick its tongue. Wang Xian was slightly speechless when he saw this scene. If he is still running away, kill him. At this moment, the third prince's furious roar came from behind. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. A hint of killing intent could be seen in his eyes. Since you want to die, I shall fulfill your wish. Wang Xian could guess that the identity of the young man was definitely not simple. It might even be related to the royal family of Star Moon Kingdom. However, at this moment, he was tempted to kill him. Go to a strange demon and kill him. Wang Xian ordered directly. Yes. A strange demon of Transcendent Level 9 responded immediately. The third prince was only at Transcendent Level 8. It was more than enough for a strange demon to assassinate him. Wang Xian moved his body and quickly dodged a ferocious beast in front of him. He continued to run forward. Buzz! Who is it? Who dares to assassinate me? In less than 2 seconds, a furious voice came from behind. The third prince, who was chasing after Wang Xian, was emitting a golden glow. The glow completely enveloped his body. At this moment, he was looking around in fear. In the instant just now, he felt the threat of death. This caused him to be filled with fear. If he didn't have the protection of the Void Interpretation level armor on his body, he would have turned into a corpse by now. This caused him to break out in a cold sweat. He shouted out loud in fear. In the instant just now, he didn't even see clearly whether the person who tried to assassinate him was a human or a ferocious beast. Third Prince, what's going on? Third Prince. The expressions of the two half-step Void Interpretation stage powerhouses who were chasing after Wang Xian changed drastically. They hurriedly looked behind them. Someone is trying to assassinate me. Don't bother about me. Chase after him. The third prince looked at the armor on his body and looked ahead. When he saw Wang Xian's disappearing figure, his eyes turned bloodshot again as he shouted loudly. Oh no, he's going to escape. The two elders turned their heads and looked at him with an embarrassed expression. The third prince's expression changed drastically. He gritted his teeth and took out a small cyan knife from his interspatial ring. The small knife was spinning with cyan light. The moment the small knife appeared, the surrounding space seemed to tremble. Go to hell. I must get the ice-fire civet cat. The third prince ferociously attacked Wang Xian with the small green knife. Buzz! The small green knife trembled slightly and began to rotate violently. When the two old men saw this scene, their faces revealed a pained expression. Buzz! 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 The small green knife rotated and attacked Wang Xian at a terrifying speed. The densely packed ferocious beasts that were blocking in front of them instantly revealed a look of fear. However, before they could react, the cyan knife pierced through their bodies and continued to attack forward. Quick, go and bring the ice-fire civet cat over. Help him collect his corpse. I want to see what he looks like. Chapter 1138, entered the main hall. The third prince stared at the green knife that had disappeared in a flash. A hint of coldness appeared in his eyes. He had obtained this green knife from an ancient tomb of an expert. This green knife had the ability to attack an expert of the see-through realm. Any martial artist below the see-through realm would definitely be killed. At this moment, at the edge of the floating sea city, Wang Xian's body had already left the floating sea city and was falling towards the beach. He was holding the lightning strike wood in his hand. In front of the lightning strike wood, there was a small green knife. A terrifying force was transmitted from the small knife. It almost wanted to tear apart the lightning strike wood. Meow, meow, meow. The ice-fire civet cat in Wang Xian's arms was extremely happy at this moment. It looked at him spitting out fresh blood as it stuck out its small tongue and licked non-stop. What a terrifying small green knife. If I didn't sense it with my light and dark fire dragon eyes and blocked it with the lightning strike wood, this strike would definitely have taken my life. A prince? That young man is actually the third prince of Star Moon Kingdom. Damn it! Wang Xian's eyes were filled with anger. His internal organs were almost torn apart under the terrifying force of the green knife. Large mouthfuls of blood could not help but flow out. Phew! Seeing the green knife gradually disappearing, he heaved a sigh of relief. However, when he saw a group of figures chasing after him, he gritted his teeth and jumped into the sea. The dragon energy on his body quickly healed his body. I actually consumed 130,000 dragon crystals. Wang Xian entered the sea and immediately began to recover from his injuries. He flew in another direction at a terrifying speed. Where is he? Damn it, where is that kid's corpse? Why did it disappear all of a sudden? Could he have entered the sea? Soon, at the edge of the floating sea city, the third prince and the rest arrived. They scanned their surroundings and jumped into the sea as soon as they saw no corpse. Look for it. You must find it for me. You must get the cubs of the ice-fire civet cat. The third prince roared with his fiery red eyes. It's the third prince. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts and immediately jumped into the sea. This fellow is really addicted to drinking my blood. Wang Xian waited for the cubs of the ice-fire civet cat from another direction. He smiled as he looked at the cubs of the ice-fire civet cat who was licking the blood on his face. He sized up the fire and ice civet cat carefully, and a look of surprise appeared in his eyes. Fire and ice civet cat, transcendent level 8. This fire and ice civet cat looks like it was just born not long ago. It has the strength of a transcendent level 8 when it was just born. This is too abnormal. Wang Xian stared at it with a twinkle in his eyes. The fire and ice civet cat also stared at him with its beautiful eyes. It licked its lips as if it still wanted more. Little fella, stay in the spirit storage bag. Wang Xian grabbed it and placed it directly into the spirit storage bag. Meow. The ice-fire civet cat, which had just entered the spirit storage bag, started to scream in panic. It kept screaming in the pitch-black space. Stop screaming. Stay in there for a while. Wang Xian comforted it and looked at the center of the city of beasts. The beasts roared and the group of people who came in from the island fled into the distance in fear. There were tens of thousands of people gathered at the east gate of Bright Moon City. They watched from afar and didn't dare to come forward. Even the army of Bright Moon City was guarding at the east gate, afraid that ferocious beasts would break into the city. Tens of thousands of ferocious beasts with the lowest level 7 were definitely a terrifying force for Bright Moon City. To be able to get 1/10 of the people who entered the 100 Beast City out alive is already considered pretty good. Wang Xian sighed slightly. Everyone thought that it would be an opportunity, but they didn't expect it to be a disaster. Before one has the strength, human lives are like ants. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He raised his head and looked at the sky. 7 insightful Emptiness Realm experts were fighting against the 2 explosive golden lions of level 3 of the Insightful Emptiness Realm. In terms of level, the 2 golden lions of the Insightful Emptiness Realm could completely defeat the 7 experts. However, due to their prolonged hibernation, their strength was not at 50% of their peak, or even less. The 2 golden lions were being suppressed by the 7 Insightful Emptiness Realm experts. Even so, there were 2 Insightful Emptiness Realm experts whose bodies were covered in blood. Ao Yao, you will enter the main hall with me. The rest of you will secretly store the corpses here into your interspatial rings. Wang Xian instructed Ao Yao and the rest. It's the Dragon King. The group of strange demons hurriedly replied. Wang Xian did not hesitate and flew directly to the main hall. Feng Luan had already entered the main hall. He did not know if she had gained anything. His body moved and easily dodged the ferocious beasts one by one. He swept his gaze across the void interpretation stage powerhouses in the sky and rushed straight into the main hall. Right at this time, the Windhowl Dynasty's Type 3 void interpretation expert, who was fighting a golden lion alone, felt something, and he looked down. Someone actually entered the main hall after taking advantage of the situation. He's really courting death. I'll let you scout the way. The expert's gaze was cold, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Roar! Not good. At this moment, his expression changed drastically. The golden lion with its mouth opened its mouth and attacked him with all its might. The violent attacks made him palpitate in fear. Did these two golden lions sense that someone has entered the hall? He was bewildered and began his final attack with an embarrassed expression. The hall only covers an area of 1 kilometer. It's not a huge area. Wang Xian, who had just entered the main hall, saw sculptures in the shape of ferocious beasts around him. Every sculpture was lifelike. Entering the main hall was like entering an ancient place of worship. There were all kinds of ferocious beast patterns everywhere. Wang Xian frowned slightly. Walking in the middle of 7 to 8 meters and more than 10 meters of ferocious beast sculptures, there was always a feeling that made one's heart palpitate. The entire hall was in a mess. Even if Wang Xian flew to the top, he could not see what was going down ahead. Bang! At this moment, a shattering sound was heard. Wang Xian was slightly stunned. His body moved and he flew directly to that location. Wang Xian. When Wang Xian flew over, Feng Luan's voice was heard. Feng Luan, how is it? Did you get anything? When Wang Xian saw Feng Luan, he flew over immediately with a smile on his face. He looked in front of her and saw that a ferocious beast sculpture had been broken by her. No! Feng Luan frowned slightly and looked at the dried blood in her hands. The entire hall is filled with these ferocious beast sculptures. It is very chaotic. There is a drop of the blood of these ferocious beasts in the sculptures. Some of them have dried up and are completely useless. I have seen so many ancient tombs, tombs of emperors, and land of heritage. This is the first time I have seen such a strange one. Feng Luan frowned as she looked around and slowly said. When they came in, the two fierce beasts said not to disturb their master's sleep. Could it be that there's a hidden compartment here? Chapter 1139, Beast Taming Techniques and Special Bloodlines. Wang Xian's eyes flickered with a demonic expression as he carefully observed his surroundings. The light and dark fire dragon eyes penetrated the surroundings and directly penetrated through the sculptures. Just as Feng Luan said, there was a drop of blood of a ferocious beast at the head of each sculpture. Some of the blood had even dried up and formed a lump. There are no hidden compartments in the surroundings, nor are there any other spaces. I have checked all the positions. If there are any abnormalities, these sculptures are the only ones. Feng Luan said to Wang Xian, but I have already broken more than 20 sculptures and there aren't any abnormalities at all. Then why? Could it be that the two ferocious beasts outside are lying? Wang Xian frowned slightly. The main hall occupied a radius of 1 kilometer and was more than 200 meters tall. The hall was densely packed with sculptures of ferocious beasts. There were more than 1,000 sculptures of ferocious beasts in the entire hall. Among them, the most important one, the tallest and largest one, had been destroyed by the phoenix. However, there was nothing inside. Why did this 100 patrol master, a beast tamer, make so many sculptures? Wang Xian felt a headache coming on. This old man Bai Sun didn't play by the rules at all. If this was the last place where he died, you should at least make a coffin and place it in the middle. You should either place your treasures together with yourself or put them in your interspatial ring. All of these sculptures were a mess of ferocious beasts. What a weirdo. According to my understanding, this old man is very talented. He went from an ordinary powerhouse with half-step void interpretation bloodline to a top-notch powerhouse in the Luhai region. The process is beyond everyone's imagination. Maybe he has a unique mind. Feng Luan frowned and analyzed from the side. It's just that he has some mental problems. Wang Xian said bluntly. Feng Luan rolled her eyes at him and looked around. The answer is definitely in this sculpture. Therefore, I plan to destroy all the sculptures. Wang Xian nodded his head slowly. This was the only way to deal with this kind of eccentric fellow. Roar! Suddenly, two shrill roars were heard, causing Feng Luan and Wang Xian to frown slightly. Those two explosive golden lions have been killed. They are coming in. Feng Luan said. Then let's hurry up. Wang Xian nodded his head and waved his hand at the sculpture beside him. Pang! However, what surprised Wang Xian was that his casual attack did not break the sculpture. This sculpture is made from the mud at the bottom of the sticky sea that is 100,000 meters deep. It can only be broken by a powerful strike from a level 9 transcendent. Feng Luan looked at it and said with a smile. Are you mocking me for being weak? Chu Xian looked at her speechlessly. I am a little weak. Feng Luan said straightforwardly. Wang Xian was speechless. His current strength was indeed much weaker than a void interpretation expert. Brat who sneaked in just now, come and face your death. At this moment, a cold and murderous voice was heard, causing Wang Xian to frown. Boom! 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 At this moment, 6 figures appeared at the entrance of the main hall. The 6 of them did not barge in directly. Instead, they observed their surroundings vigilantly. When they saw the sculptures, they frowned. At this moment, all 6 of them had serious injuries on their bodies. Even the level 3 insightful emptiness realm expert from the Windhull Kingdom had a terrifying wound on his chest. The 2 golden lions had gone all out in their attacks, causing one void interpretation expert to fall on the spot, while the others were all heavily injured. However, they did not hesitate and directly entered the main hall. Now that someone had entered the main hall, they were afraid that all the treasures would be taken away. Feng Wuji, are you sure that someone has already entered? The old man in the python robe from Starmoon Kingdom asked in a deep voice. Of course. Feng Wuji replied coldly. He scanned his surroundings and said, enter the hall and those who are strong will get the treasures. As he spoke, he flew to the highest position and swept his gaze forward. The other 5 people didn't have any objections as they scanned their surroundings. Who is it? Someone has indeed entered. Fish in troubled waters, kill them. The old man dressed in a python robe quickly looked towards Wang Xian and Feng Luan. His eyes were flashing with a cold expression. The other 5 insightful emptiness realm experts moved and looked over. A terrifying killing intent gushed out from the 6 of them and locked onto Wang Xian and Feng Luan. Wang Xian's expression changed instantly when he saw them. Hee hee. Feng Luan, who was at the side, looked at the injuries on their bodies. Instead, she smiled gently and stared at the 6 of them who were flying over with a smile on her face. On her body, a terrifying flame rose slowly. A phoenix started to rotate slowly around her, making her look extremely majestic. Wang Xian retreated backward. Everyone, those who are powerful will know about the treasure. Feng Luan looked at them and said indifferently without any hint of fear. Her voice didn't have the slightest fluctuation. What? An insightful void martial artist. He actually took advantage of us to enter the main hall. Damn it! The expressions of the 6 of them changed drastically. They had fought to the death just now, but they didn't expect that someone had already entered the main hall. They had suffered heavy injuries in order to enter the main hall, and one of them even died. I saw that you were all fighting, so I didn't disturb you all. Feng Luan's gaze swept past them. The terrifying flames and the mystical phoenix made them look mysterious and powerful. The 6 people's expressions changed. Feeling Feng Luan's aura, they felt some fear in their hearts. The 6 of them looked at each other and then looked at their own injuries, their faces turning somewhat black. If they were to fight at this moment, they might lose their lives here. Just now, a profound void martial artist was injured. Did you guys get any treasures? The level 3 profound void martial artist from the Fengshao Kingdom asked with a gloomy face. If we got any treasures, we would have already left. You guys can take a look around and see if we got anything. Feng Luan shook her head lightly. The 6 insightful emptiness realm experts looked at Feng Luan and then at Wang Xian. They did not have any pet eggs in their hands. They looked at the broken sculpture on the ground. They could not sense any spiritual artifact fluctuation on it. Bang! A insightful emptiness realm expert scanned the surroundings. With a wave of his arm, he shattered a sculpture. Other than the dried blood of the ferocious beasts, there was nothing else in the broken sculpture. The expert took a look at the blood and began to search the surroundings again. Pitch, let's search. The group of people snorted coldly. They scanned the surroundings and began to search for treasures. Before they confirmed that there were treasures, no one would fight to the death. The insightful emptiness realm experts had a lifespan of 1,000 years. They cherished their lives very much. Let's continue. Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian and said directly. All right. Seeing that the 6 insightful emptiness realm experts did not make a move, he heaved a sigh of relief and nodded. Chapter 1140, Beast Taming Technique and Special Bloodline. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the surroundings as he looked at the 6 insightful emptiness realm experts heading to different places. He was slightly fearful. Even though these insightful emptiness realm experts were heavily injured, they were still able to kill him in one move. Go! If they dare to attack, I will avenge you. Feng Luan looked at Wang Xian and smiled. With a wave of her arm, the phoenix that was circling around her came directly to Wang Xian. The flaming phoenix circled around him. If someone were to attack him, the phoenix would be able to defend itself immediately. Wang Xian nodded his head helplessly. The flaming phoenix circled around his entire body. With a move of his body, he flew directly in a direction. Bang! Wang Xian's arm smashed directly at a sculpture. The sound of collision was heard throughout the entire hall. His attack caused the other 6 insightful emptiness realm experts to look over. What the fuck? However, what surprised the 6 insightful emptiness realm experts was that Wang Xian's attack did not break the sculpture when it landed on it. Wang Xian's face was also filled with astonishment. His face turned slightly black. He had used 60% of his strength just now. Hee, trash. Pitch, how dare a piece of trash come in? 2 mocking voices rang out, making Wang Xian even more embarrassed. His face turned black. Some of the sculptures are solid and hard to destroy. Feng Luan saw Wang Xian's embarrassed look and sent him a voice transmission. Wang Xian almost wanted to vomit blood. The 6 insightful void tier experts turned their heads in disdain. They saw Feng Luan breaking the sculptures one by one and tried to break them as well. Furthermore, they were checking each other out. Once a treasure appeared, it might be the time for a fight. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly and his gaze started to change. The mud in the sculptures was too sturdy. He decided to use his ocular technique to observe. There was no other energy in the mud. This allowed him to see through and see the situation inside. Why is there only a drop of fresh blood in every sculpture? What is the use of this fresh blood? Wang Xian looked at the sculptures one by one and frowned as he pondered. There were all kinds of sculptures of ferocious beasts. They were flying in the sky, swimming in the water, running on land, having 2 legs, 3 legs, 4 legs, and even more than 10 legs. It was like an exhibition hall for sculptures of ferocious beasts. Wang Xian looked at one sculpture after another of ferocious beasts, but there was nothing inside. Suddenly, Wang Xian was slightly stunned. He looked at a ferocious beast that was lying on the ground. It was about 10 meters long and looked like an alligator. In the middle of this ferocious beast, there was a ball of liquid. The liquid was about half a meter long and was emitting a sparkling luster. This is the bloodline of a ferocious beast. It should be at level 9 of the supernatural realm. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a burning glow. He moved his arm and attacked the sculpture directly. He didn't destroy all of it. Instead, he created a half-meter wide hole. I got it. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with joy. The bloodline of an extraordinary level 9 ferocious beast was worth close to 10 billion middle-grade spirit stones. However, when Wang Xian broke open the sculpture and saw the situation inside, he immediately froze. The bloodline of the ferocious beast inside was actually gone. It couldn't be said that it was gone. Instead, it had completely dried up. There was no sign of life at all. Everyone looked over when they saw Wang Xian breaking a sculpture. Wang Xian ignored the gazes of the people around him. He broke the sculpture completely with one punch after another. There was nothing left. Indeed, there was nothing left. The ferocious beast bloodline that was filled with life in his line of sight had actually dried up to the point where there was no sign of life at all. When the people around saw that there was nothing inside, they immediately turned their heads around and attacked the sculpture in front of them again. With a casual wave of their hands, they directly broke more than 10 sculptures. They didn't dare to use too much strength. If there really was a treasure inside, they would cry. Suddenly, a cry of surprise came from the side, attracting everyone once again. Dried blood, and there's quite a lot of it. Isn't this the bloodline of a demonic beast or fierce beast? Will it lose its vitality after a long time? The insightful void martial expert from Star Moon Kingdom said with a dark expression as he looked at the large pool of dried blood beside him. His words immediately caused the expressions of the surrounding people to turn ugly. Old Man Bai Sun specialized in beast taming, and beast tamers were related to bloodlines. It was normal for him to possess the bloodline of fierce beasts and demonic beasts, but if the bloodline of fierce beasts and demonic beasts didn't have any energy for a long time, they would die and become ordinary blood. Damn it, it can't be that there's nothing. The level 3 void interpretation expert from the Kingdom of Wind Howl waved his black-faced arm forcefully, and the dozens of sculptures in front of him shattered. There was nothing inside, but one of them contained a large piece of dried blood. This scene caused Feng Luan's face to turn black. However, when Wang Xian saw this scene, he revealed a contemplative look. How could this be? He clearly saw the bloodline of a ferocious beast that was filled with vitality. How did it turn into dried blood after it was opened? It was impossible for the dragon eyes of light and dark fire to be wrong. Something must have gone wrong. Wang Xian looked at the dried liquid in front of him, then looked at the one beside him. He walked forward while deep in thought. After checking dozens of them consecutively, Wang Xian's gaze landed in front of a sculpture of a flying bird and ferocious beast. His eyes were sparkling. In his line of sight, there was a ball of liquid in the stomach of this 4-meter-sized flying bird sculpture. It was half a meter in size and was exuding an exuberant vitality. Blood of the flying bird in flowery clothing, level 8 extraordinary. That's right. This can't be wrong. That one just now wasn't wrong either. Looking at the information that the system had sent back, Wang Xian sized up the sculpture of the flying bird in flowery clothing carefully. Its slender neck flew upwards. Its sharp mouth and bright eyes looked as if they were real. The feathers on its body were lifelike. Even the position of its buttocks was only left with a hole. However, the hole was covered by the feathers. Wang Xian looked at the hole and the corner of his mouth twitched. He touched the feathers beside the hole and pulled them away forcefully. Looking at the hole, Wang Xian fell into deep thought. Bai Sun, that old thing, shouldn't have such a strong taste, right? Wang Xian clenched his fist slightly. He had the urge to hit someone. Damn, go and take a look. If it's not what I think, I will smash all of you. Wang Xian's face was dark. With a wave of his arm, he plucked all the feathers in front of the hole. He moved his body and went straight into the cave. This. The insightful void martial artist, who could sense every trace of Wang Xian in the surroundings, was slightly stunned when he saw that Wang Xian had gone straight into the cave. This trash. He is too weak to break the sculpture. He came here to embarrass himself. I want to slap this trash to death. Idiot. The 3 insightful emptiness realm experts from the Star Moon Kingdom laughed mockingly. Wang Xian's situation had actually eased their frustration. After all, there was a clown performing for them. "Ha, you guys are a bunch of idiots. A bunch of trash." Wang Xian, who had entered the sculpture, couldn't help but laugh maniacally in his heart. He didn't expect that the Baisun old man's taste was so strong. Chapter 1141, Beast Tamer's Inheritance. Entering the body of the flying bird through the hole at the tail of the sculpture was the only way to obtain the complete bloodline of the ferocious beast. The Baisun elder used a series of special methods to store the bloodline of the ferocious beast and demonic beast in the sculpture. Once the sculpture was broken, the bloodline inside would dissipate immediately. He didn't understand why the Baisun elder did this. However, he could tell that this fellow had a strong taste. Pervert. Wang Xian smiled. He actually liked the perverted taste of the old man. A void interpretation expert would definitely not enter the body of a ferocious beast from this place. Not to mention a void interpretation expert, even Wang Xian wouldn't enter the body of a ferocious beast if it wasn't for the light and dark fire dragon eyes. A powerful expert wouldn't do such a thing. However, it was also because of this reason that it was a very beneficial thing for Wang Xian now. He kept the bloodline of the flying bird into his spirit pouch. Then, he moved his body and came out directly. "Hee, little guy, which faction are you and that guy from?" An expert from the Star Moon Kingdom asked when he saw Wang Xian coming out with empty hands and a mocking look in his eyes. "I can't tell you that." Wang Xian looked at the middle-aged man and said with a smile. Then, he turned his head to look at the sculptures at the side. "Humph." When the old man saw that Wang Xian didn't reply, a cold smile appeared on his face. He waved his arm at the sculptures in front of him and directly shattered more than a dozen of them. In the entire main hall, hundreds of sculptures had been destroyed consecutively. There was nothing inside. This caused the rest of the Insightful Emptiness Realm experts to look surprised. 3 of them began to check the ground and other locations. When Wang Xian saw this situation, he was slightly delighted. His dragon eyes of light and dark fire scanned through the sculptures quickly. This is the bloodline of a demonic beast of extraordinary level 9. After checking dozens of sculptures consecutively, he was delighted. When he looked over, he heaved a sigh of relief. This was a demonic beast sculpture that resembled an ape. Only a wide-opened mouth could enter. It seems that this old man is not so perverted that he is beyond redemption. Wang Xian thought to himself. He flew into the sky and took a look. Then, he pretended to enter the mouth of the sculpture and entered it directly. This time, no one paid attention to Wang Xian anymore. These 2 actions of Wang Xian had long been regarded as a fool by the few Insightful Emptiness Realm experts. Of course, this was also the disdain that the Insightful Emptiness Realm experts had for him. This was because they also knew that even a Transcendent Level 9 expert would have to exert force to break the sculpture. The continuous breaking was obviously not as convenient as Wang Xian's direct penetration into the sculpture. Obviously, they would not have thought that the dried blood would be intact before the sculpture was broken. Got it. Wang Xian directly broke the sculpture when he entered and transmitted it from the position beside his stomach. Why isn't there anything? Wang Xian mumbled on purpose as he continued to search for the other sculpture. Sigh, what a waste. Wang Xian looked at the position beside him. There was a large chunk of dried blood around the 6 Insightful Emptiness Realm experts. This blood was the inheritance of a bloodline. Even if it was the bloodline of an extraordinary level 8 ferocious beast, it was still very valuable. Furthermore, there might even be one at the Insightful Emptiness Realm. I have to speed up. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the sculptures and started searching rapidly. Although his speed was not as fast as the rest of the experts, it was not too slow either. Most importantly, after the 6 void interpretation experts and Feng Wan destroyed the sculptures one by one, they went to other places to search. Half of the sculptures in the hall were destroyed and there was nothing left. Therefore, the chances of finding treasures in the sculptures were reduced by a lot. Even Feng Luan was suspecting if there was another world in this main hall. Ha ha ha, I've finally encountered the bloodline of an insightful emptiness realm ferocious beast. I'm rich, ha. 5 minutes later, when Wang Xian entered the body of a ferocious beast sculpture from the tail, he looked at the blue blood that was emitting a strong vitality. His eyes were burning with excitement. Could it be that the old man of Baisun is in the body of one of the sculptures? Suddenly, Wang Xian recalled the words of the two void interpretation ferocious beasts that were guarding outside. His face revealed an excited expression. If he was really in the sculpture, there was a high possibility that he could obtain the heritage and treasures of the old man of Baisun. This was a peerless expert at level 6 of the void interpretation realm. He was an existence that could suppress an entire region by himself. After coming out from the body of this ferocious beast sculpture, Wang Xian continued to examine the sculptures one by one. Now, he was praying that this sculpture would not be destroyed by Feng Luan and the other see-through realm experts. After obtaining 2 more ferocious beast bloodlines in a row, Wang Xian stopped in front of a demonic beast. His eyes revealed a burning look. This was a red demonic beast sculpture. Its shape was very strange, and it was lying on the ground like a pool of liquid. It had a long and thin mouth. Its mouth was not sharp at all and it looked very ugly. In the entire main hall, the ugliness of this demonic beast could definitely be ranked in the top 10. This demonic beast sculpture was only 4 meters in size and was considered relatively small in the entire main hall. However, in Wang Xian's line of sight, there was a pool of liquid inside. The liquid formed densely packed words that were flashing with a luster. He entered directly from the mouth of the demonic beast sculpture. The moment he entered, he suddenly activated an array formation inside. The liquid words floated up instantly and came before him, forming a sentence. Congratulations, Junior. Congratulations on obtaining my 100 rounds of beast taming inheritance. To be able to enter this place, I believe that your strength is not weak either. The path of beast taming is broad and profound. However, if you want to become a great beast tamer, you must first understand them. You must go deep into them. You must become one with them and become their king. Be it ferocious beasts or demonic beasts, they all have feelings. Only by treating them well will they support you. Lines of words appeared in front of Wang Xian's eyes. When he saw the first few lines, Wang Xian revealed a hint of surprise. He finally understood why the bloodline of the ferocious beasts and demonic beasts would dry up after destroying them. Old Man Baisun was looking for a qualified inheritor. Only by taking care of these ferocious beasts and demonic beast sculptures and entering the interior without destroying the sculptures would one be able to obtain the inheritance. This was also the reason why many ferocious beasts and demonic beast sculptures only had holes and tails. This was because it was a disguise test. As long as one did not hold grudges against the ferocious beasts and demonic beasts, one could only become a powerful beast tamer with such a loving and communicative heart. As expected of the most amazing expert in the Flowing Sea region. His intelligence and talent are really incomparable to others. Wang Xian said with a sigh. The success of every expert was definitely not a coincidence. Chapter 1142, Beast Tamer's Inheritance. This is the inheritance of a beast tamer. How to tame ferocious beasts and demonic beasts. This is to make use of the pressure of the bloodline. This method is similar to the way the divine dragon rules low-level creatures. It will be of great help to me too. Wang Xian looked at the words entering his mind one by one. The blood-like words slowly returned to the normal bloodline of demonic beasts. TSK, this inheritance is really powerful. It's so powerful. It's a pity that Old Man Baisun didn't place his interspatial ring here. There's only the inheritance here. When all the words entered his mind, a hint of excitement flashed across Wang Xian's face. The liquid that formed the words was not an ordinary liquid. Instead, it was the bloodline of the demonic beast tarsal bone. According to Old Man Bai Sun, the tarsal bone demonic beast had already become his life-bound demonic beast. The term life-bound demonic beast was created by him. Through his own method, he had fused with the tarsal bone demonic beast and directly controlled the tarsal bone demonic beast. He also possessed the full strength of the tarsal bone demonic beast. It was also because of this tarsal bone demonic beast that he was able to achieve his current achievements. The tarsal bone demonic beast was a top-notch demonic beast that could reach the 6th level of the see-through realm. Even within the 5 great empires, the bloodline of a demonic beast of this level would be snatched away by countless experts. It was even very likely that the bloodline of a demonic beast of this level would cause a bloodbath. If I were to sell the bloodline of a demonic beast of this level, how terrifying would the resources obtained be? Wang Xian muttered in his heart as his eyes revealed a burning expression. However, a look of contemplation appeared on his face as a figure appeared in his mind. Forget it. I owe her. I'll give this bloodline of the demonic beast to her. Wang Xian mumbled as a smile appeared on his face. With a move of his arm, he stored the bloodline of the tarsal bone demonic beast into his storage spirit bag. After coming out of the demonic beast sculpture, Wang Xian looked around and continued his search. According to the records of the Bai Sun master, there were 2 insightful void-level bloodlines and 15 extraordinary-level bloodlines in the sculptures in the main hall. These bloodlines could nurture more than a dozen top-notch families. They could even use these bloodlines to build a dynasty. After searching for nearly 100 sculptures consecutively, the number of sculptures in the main hall became fewer and fewer. The entire main hall was in a mess. There were pieces of sculptures everywhere. Wang Xian frowned slightly. He didn't find another demon beast bloodline of the see-through level. It should have turned into dried blood by now. What a bunch of wastrels. Wang Xian glanced at the group of see-through experts and thought to himself. Fuck, what are these things? Didn't those 2 damn beasts say that this is the burial place of the Bai Sun elder? Why is there nothing here? After another 10 minutes, a profound void martial artist shouted impatiently. They had dug 3 feet into the main hall, but they did not find any treasures. This made them extremely angry. You came in before us, did you find any treasures? The Windhowl dynasty's 3rd-rank profound void martial artist stared at Feng Luan with a gloomy face and asked coldly. For a moment, the other 5 profound void martial experts also stared at her coldly. If I obtain the treasure, I will have already left. Moreover, the Bai Sun old man's treasure is related to the bloodline pet egg. Do you think I can hide them? Feng Luan stared at them coldly with an expressionless face. This caused the expressions of the 6 profound void martial experts to be somewhat unsightly. The Bai Sun old man's treasure definitely had the pet egg and various bloodlines. The pet egg could not be stored in the interspatial ring. Even the bloodlines of fierce beasts and demon beasts could not be stored in the interspatial ring unless there was a special container. Moreover, if she had really received the inheritance of Old Man Bai Sun, she would have left long ago. How could she still be here to accompany them? This made the 6 insightful emptiness realm experts' expressions turn bad. Fuck, I don't believe that there isn't any treasure in the hall. One of the profound void martial experts was somewhat unwilling. He pulled out his long sword and directly slashed forward. The terrifying sword ray directly slashed out a trace that was 1,000 meters long and 3 to 4 meters deep. This trace directly pierced through the entire main hall. The other profound void martial experts didn't say anything. They looked at the trace on the ground. Below, there were rocks and nothing else. Could it be that the Bai Sun old man's treasure is really not here? Feng Luan also frowned. She was the first to come here, but she did not find anything. She moved her arm, and a fire phoenix directly attacked the surroundings. However, nothing unusual was detected. All the items were directly turned into ashes in the flames. Damn it, we wasted so much time and I was seriously injured. The face of the expert at level 3 of the see-through realm from the Howling Wind dynasty turned black. He had come all the way to the Star Moon Kingdom, yet he didn't obtain anything. If he had known earlier that he would enter the 100 Beast City right from the start, he might have been able to obtain some pet eggs. Phew, let's go. Feng Luan shook her head helplessly and said to Wang Xian. Okay. Wang Xian was expressionless. He nodded his head and followed Feng Luan out. The other 6 insightful emptiness realm experts searched for a few more minutes unwillingly. The entire main hall was almost destroyed, but they still couldn't find any treasures. Finally, everyone left in anger. Wang Xian and Feng Luan left the main hall. As soon as they arrived outside, they saw that there were still many demonic beasts and ferocious beasts wreaking havoc in the 100 Beast City. There were also many demonic beasts and ferocious beasts that ran to other places. There were thousands of demonic beasts attacking in front of the city walls of Bright Moon City. The experts in the city were defending themselves. However, the strange thing was that there weren't many demonic beasts and ferocious beasts or even human corpses on the ground. When Wang Xian saw this situation, a smile appeared on his face. Although there aren't any other big gains, it's still not bad. Let's go. Let's return to Bright Moon City. You can arrange for the dragon spike. Flying in the sky, Feng Luan said to Wang Xian calmly. Did you obtain any treasures in the main hall? Wang Xian was slightly taken aback as he asked in astonishment. No, didn't I give you 5 pet eggs? 3 of them are at Transcendent Level 7, 1 is at Transcendent Level 8, and 1 is at Transcendent Level 9. They are worth billions of mid-grade spirit stones. Feng Luan smiled faintly and asked, how was it? Did you get anything? I'm alright. Ha! Suddenly, Wang Xian saw a few familiar figures scanning the sky. He changed his expression slightly. I have an enemy. Cover me for a while. Let's leave quickly. Seeing the third prince who was still unwilling to find him, Wang Xian's eyes turned cold as he said hurriedly. Ha! Feng Luan looked over and waved her arm to block Wang Xian. She nodded and flew toward Bright Moon City quickly. You didn't obtain any treasures, right? Bright Moon City was a little chaotic at this moment. There were no void interpretation experts in the city. Feng Luan flew straight to the room of the restaurant. She looked at Wang Xian and asked with a smile. Chapter 1143, The Reward of Days Worth. Wang Xian's inheritance was extremely terrifying, and the increase in his speed was also shocking. However, his current strength had yet to reach the insightful emptiness realm. In Feng Luan's opinion, he couldn't be considered a powerhouse if he had yet to reach the insightful emptiness realm. Furthermore, Wang Xian had entered the interior from the butt of the sculpture. When she saw it, she was speechless. In the 100 Beast City, even the group of insightful emptiness realm experts didn't gain much. It was normal if Wang Xian didn't gain anything. Just a little bit. When Wang Xian heard Feng Luan's words, he smiled faintly and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Just a little bit. When he thought of his gains, Wang Xian didn't remember them clearly. Just a little bit is good enough. Feng Luan nodded her head faintly. It wasn't a waste of time. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head. He thought of the ice fire civet cat in the storage spiritual bag and looked inside. At this moment, the ice fire civet cat was jumping around in the storage spiritual bag. It was very active and made rapid sounds. Clearly, it was very afraid in this pitch-black and unfamiliar space. Feng Luan poured some tea for herself and took out a book to read. Wang Xian had a thought and the ice fire civet cat appeared beside him. Meow! Upon seeing Wang Xian, the ice fire civet cat let out an excited cry and pounced on him. Don't lick me! Don't lick me! Wang Xian patted the head of the ice fire civet cat to stop it from being mischievous. Meow, meow! The ice fire civet cat meowed and jumped onto his shoulder. Ha! Feng Luan, who was drinking tea at the side, was slightly stunned. She immediately looked at the ice-fire civet cat with a stunned expression. How did this cat appear? It. Feng Luan widened her eyes slightly. Her eyes were filled with shock as she sized up the ice-fire civet cat in astonishment. It's a little fellow that I obtained from the 100 Beasts City. Wang Xian smiled. How is it? Not bad, right? This ice-fire civet cat's bloodline is not simple. It's not just not simple. Feng Luan's eyes flickered slightly. Dual attributes of ice and fire. A rare dual attribute. It might even be able to stand at the peak of the Transcendence continent. Is that why you said that your harvest is average? Feng Luan thought of how it was good for her to have a harvest and rolled her eyes at him. Oh right, where did you hide the ice and fire civet cat? Following that, she asked curiously. Spirit storage bag, a space that can store living things. Wang Xian explained with a smile. Spirit storage bag? Feng Luan looked at it and felt a little envious. I'm really envious of your inheritance. Wang Xian looked at her and smiled. I want to see what I got tonight. You got something else? Feng Luan looked over in surprise. Wang Xian shrugged his shoulders and waved his arm. 5 pet eggs were placed on the ground. These are your 5 pet eggs. Feng Luan looked at him and then at him. Bang, bang, bang. Following that, Wang Xian waved his arm again and 1 pet egg after another landed on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 pet egg after another appeared on the ground. Feng Luan, who was at the side, was slightly surprised. However, she soon opened her mouth slightly. Her mouth was filled with shock and was exceptionally cute. 31. There are 18 extraordinary 7th level, 7 8th level, 4 9th level, and only 2 half-step void interpretation level ones. It's a pity that there aren't any void interpretation level ones. Wang Xian shook his head regretfully. You. Feng Luan looked at him and then looked at the pet eggs on the ground. She choked slightly. The current her was no longer the former empress. With so many pet eggs placed here, it was still a shock to her. With so many pet eggs, it was comparable to the half-step void interpretation demonic beast bloodline of Wang Xian. It was worth 50 to 60 billion middle-grade spirit stones. In comparison, it was nothing for her to obtain 5 pet eggs. Is this your so-called little harvest? Feng Luan glared at him. Yes, this is just a little harvest. Wang Xian looked at her and nodded his head with a serious expression. I still have more. As he spoke, he kept the pet eggs into his spirit pouch. With a wave of his arm, the bloodlines of ferocious beasts and demonic beasts appeared before his eyes. There were 3 bloodlines at level 8 of the supernatural realm. 2 at level 9 of the supernatural realm. 1 at half-step to the void interpretation realm. 1 at level 1 of the void interpretation realm. With 6 bloodlines, every single one of them could cause a bloodbath in Bright Moon City. The most terrifying one was the bloodline at level 1 of the void interpretation realm. Such an item was considered the best item even in the Empire. Since when was this item so worthless? The last time, Wang Xian had given her a demonic beast bloodline of the 2nd level of the void interpretation realm. Now, he was giving her another one. Why was it so common to have a bloodline of the void interpretation realm? Did you get all the treasures in the 100 Beasts City? Feng Luan stood up and stared at these bloodlines with sparkling eyes. The value of these items was terrifying. The main reason why she came here this time was to obtain some treasures and prepare for the next development of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. No! Wang Xian shook his head speechlessly when he heard her words. Then, he slowly took out another bloodline. The bloodline of the tarsal bone demonic beast, level 6 of the Seeping Void. This is considered the most precious one. Oh, there's also the inheritance of the beast tamer. Wang Xian said to her indifferently. This, you. When Feng Luan saw the bloodline of the level 6 seeping void demonic beast, she was slightly excited. Even though she was the former empress, her breathing quickened when she saw the demon beast bloodline. You. Do you know what the level 6 demon beast bloodline of the void interpretation means? She took a deep breath, staring at Wang Xian. She said, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan's bloodline was at level 8 of the void interpretation. I upgraded it to level 9 of the void interpretation. With my help, Xiaoyun rose another level. Now, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan is a top-tier clan. A clan with a level 6 see-through bloodline will be conferred as a prince's clan in the empire. The value of this is too high. It's so high that the sale of a level 6 see-through bloodline in the Transcendence continent hasn't happened more than 5 times in the past 10,000 years. Feng Luan spoke a lot. Is that so? Does that mean we don't have the qualifications to sell it with our strength? It doesn't matter. I'm not prepared to sell it either. I'm prepared to give it away. Wang Xian smiled. This is all my gains from the 100 Beast City. It's not bad. Not bad. When Feng Luan heard his words again, the corner of her mouth twitched. She glared at Wang Xian. You call your gains not bad? It was obvious that he was mocking her for saying that his gains were not bad at all. This was not only not bad, it was a huge gain. One was the pup of a void interpretation demon beast, one had the bloodline of a level 1 void interpretation demon beast, and one had the bloodline of a level 6 void interpretation demon beast. If the other 6 void interpretation experts knew about this, they would definitely fight him to the death. If this item did not belong to Wang Xian, even Feng Luan herself would have to consider whether to snatch it. It was not an exaggeration to say that the value of these items added up could not even be compared to 10 Dragon and Phoenix cities. In fact, the entire Star Moon dynasty could not compare. Chapter 1144, Dragon Thorns came at her. A slap to the face. Feng Luan felt that Wang Xian was intentionally slapping her in the face. This made her a little angry. She glared at Wang Xian. You can go to hell. She snorted coldly and said directly. Hee. Wang Xian smiled awkwardly. It's you who don't want these treasures. All the demon beast bloodlines are hidden in the sculptures of the ferocious beasts. However, if you want to obtain them, you need to enter the sculptures without damaging them. Once damaged, the bloodlines and the sculptures will immediately die and dry up. You bunch of insightful emptiness realm experts are simply squandering. You have to know that there is one more insightful emptiness realm bloodline in the sculptures. According to the records of the 100 patrol elders, there are 5 half-step insightful emptiness realm bloodlines. All of them have been destroyed by you guys. Now, just thinking about it makes my heart ache. As he spoke, he sighed slightly. The corner of Feng Luan's mouth twitched. She had indeed seen the dried-up blood previously. Moreover, there was more than one. She had seen 3 to 4 of them. When she thought of the possibility of having a bloodline at the insightful void tier, her heart ached a little. Then, she recalled how the other insightful void tier experts had said that Wang Xian was a fool and a good-for-nothing. Now, who was the fool and who was the good-for-nothing? It was obvious at a glance. You're still trying to be a good-for-nothing after getting a bargain. I'll help you sell your pet eggs and bloodline. I have a lot of uses for them. Feng Luan said directly with a dissatisfied look. All right. I want elixirs. A large number of elixirs. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. If he sold these items, his level would increase again. At that time, he would be able to contend against even a powerhouse at the insightful void tier. Furthermore, the remaining dragon energy would be able to give the Dragon Palace a huge upgrade. Alright. I will exchange them for elixirs then. Feng Luan nodded and said directly. Alright. Wang Xian nodded. Dragon King, the group of draconids have arrived. At this moment, a strange voice sounded beside him. Are they here? Tell them to come and look for me tomorrow morning. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback as a smile appeared on his face. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao nodded and disappeared immediately. I need to settle some matters here for a few days. Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan and said directly. There's no rush. Feng Luan shook her head. That's good. Wang Xian nodded his head and turned his head to look at the room beside him. His eyes flashed with a demonic luster as a scene appeared in his vision. A young man was sitting there. Beside him were a few middle-aged men. Young Master Ing, Duskdoon is missing. When we went to check just now, we found that there was no one next door. They went to the 100-Beast City, and just returned. A middle-aged man stood beside the young man and reported respectfully. Missing? What is that fellow from Duskdoon doing? Young Master Ying's expression was a little awkward. Duskdoon was a top-notch assassin within the Undercurrent Assassin organization, but now he had disappeared. As for saying that he had been killed by the fellow next door, he would not believe it. Because there had been no sounds of fighting, and there had been no terrifying sounds of fighting. Moreover, the fellow next door had not been in his room just now. This made him absolutely not think that the assassin he had sent over had already died. Young Master Ing, don't be anxious. Lord Duskdoon should have gone into the 100-Beast City. Lord Darkness had also gone into the 100-Beast City just now and had just returned. Lord Duskdoon should have been delayed. The middle-aged man said hurriedly. All right. Then let that brat live another night. Young Master Ying's expression was slightly malevolent. He snorted coldly and waved his hand. Get out. Yes, young Master Ing. The middle-aged man nodded his head hurriedly. Wang Xian sat in the room. From the way they mouthed, he could tell what they were saying. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. Young Master Ing, it seems like you are another second generation. I wonder what kind of existence you belong to in the Undercurrent Assassin organization. However, his eyes flickered. Since this fellow wanted to kill him, he wouldn't be polite. When the group of Draconids are ready tomorrow, I will make an example of you. In Bright Moon City, I will use your reputation as the commander of the Dragon Spikes to awe the Bright Moon City. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile. Feng Luan, who was at the side, saw Wang Xian's smile and knew that this fellow was definitely up to no good. Bright Moon City was bustling with activity tonight. The incident in the 100-Beast City, the siege of the city by a group of powerful ferocious beasts, and the death of tens of thousands of people. Even though it was night time, Bright Moon City was bustling with activity. Wang Xian laid on the chair leisurely and began to cultivate. The biggest reward tonight was him. Bright Moon City became even more lively in the early morning. Do you want to eat something? Wang Xian looked at Feng Luan who was cultivating and asked. All right. Feng Luan opened her eyes and nodded. Damn slave, how dare you bump into our young Master Ing? Bang! At this moment, a cold voice came from outside. Following that, a strong force crashed into their room door. The room was knocked open and two figures fell to the ground. Ha! Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the two people on the ground. His eyes revealed a cold expression. Long Yi looked extremely embarrassed. A hint of fear appeared in his eyes as he stared at the group of people outside. What do you mean by I? You are courting death. A middle-aged man stared coldly at Long Yi and the other two people who were lying on the ground. He was filled with killing intent. The other 8 Draconids who were standing outside looked extremely embarrassed. However, they were too weak and were no match for them. You dare to hit my men? Are you courting death? Wang Xian looked over coldly and stared at young Master Ing who was standing in the middle as he said coldly. Hee, I knew that it was your men who did it. So what? Young Master Ing raised his head slightly and stared at Wang Xian with his dark eyes. He said with disdain, "Don't think that you are arrogant just because you are an extraordinary level 9 powerhouse." Very good. Wang Xian stood up slowly and stared at him. Very soon, you will be filled with regret. Huh. Young Master Ing laughed out loud when he heard his words. Let me tell you then. Very soon, you will be filled with regret too. Kid, just you wait and see. Humph. After he finished his sentence, he snorted coldly and walked down arrogantly. His eyes were filled with disdain. He didn't think much of an extraordinary level 9 fellow. If there were no problems with Dusk Dune Sand, this fellow would already be a dead man. Dragon King. Seeing them leave, Long Yi and the rest stood up with pale faces. Their faces were filled with bitterness. We didn't. There's no need to explain. It's just a dead man. Don't mind him. Wang Xian waved his hand. It's the Dragon King. Long Yi and the rest nodded respectfully. A few other Draconids walked in as well. All of you, go to Bright Moon City immediately to look for a spy and prepare to set up a trap. Today, we will tell everyone that our dragon thorns are here. Wang Xian looked at the group of Draconids and spoke to them in a deep voice. It's the Dragon King. We promise to complete it today. The group of Draconids nodded their heads immediately. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head slowly. His eyes flickered as he looked at the footprints on Long Yi and the rest. Let's start with them. Chapter 1145, Dragon Spike, Coming. Peng, where did that fellow Dusk Dune go? It's been an entire night and there's still no news. On the first floor of the restaurant, young Master Ing sat in a room, his face dark and gloomy. 4 to 5 middle-aged men stood at the side, watching him eat. There's still no news of Lord Dusk Dune, he must have been delayed by something. A middle-aged man immediately bowed and said. Fuck, could it be that Dusk Dune has died in the 100 Beast City? Young Master Ying's face was filled with displeasure as he sat there coldly. The more I look at that fellow, the more displeased I am. Tonight. Young Master Ing, Lord Dusk Dune is here. At that moment, the middle-aged man interrupted his displeasure and said softly. Oh? Young Master Ing was not displeased with the middle-aged man's interruption. He raised his head and looked outside. At the entrance, a middle-aged man walked over. The middle-aged man looked very ordinary. He held a sword in his hand and had a warm smile on his face. This middle-aged man looked very, very gentle and did not have the slightest bit of hostility. When the middle-aged man saw young Master Ing, he also had a smile on his face and immediately walked over. Young Master Ing. He walked over and greeted him with a smile on his face. Uncle Dai He, come, sit. Young Master Ing did not put on airs in front of the middle-aged man as he gestured with a smile on his face. The middle-aged man smiled and nodded as he sat in front of the table. Lord Dai He, Lord Dusk Dune is currently missing. I wonder if something has happened. The middle-aged man at the side reported to Dai He in a low voice. I understand. Dusk Dune understands our rules. If there's still no sign of him, something must have happened. Darkness nodded his head slowly and said directly. Something happened? Uncle Darkness, Dusk Dune is so powerful. How could something have happened? Young Master Ing said with a face full of surprise. Young Master Ing, you still don't know what happened last night, right? At the 100 Beast City, a void interpretation expert died, and 5 or 6 transcendent 9th rank experts died. Dusk Dune might have taken the initiative to go there last night. Darkness said faintly. What? Young Master Ing and the few middle-aged men beside him were slightly stunned, their faces revealing shock. The loss of a void interpretation expert was a huge matter for the Star Moon Kingdom. Not long ago, a general of a void interpretation expert had been killed in the Star Moon Kingdom. It was said that 4 or 5 void interpretation experts had gone to take revenge. They did not know the exact situation, but they knew that the death of a void interpretation expert could shake the entire kingdom. They had not thought that another one had died last night. Then something must have happened to Duskdune City. Young Master Ing said with a sullen face. I heard that young Master Ing is going to deal with a person, so let me handle it. Darkness said to young Master Ing with a smile. Okay, Uncle Diablo, I was just about to ask for your help. You have to be careful of a transcendent level 9 guy. Young Master Ing immediately said with a smile. A transcendent level 9, hee, young Master Ing, don't worry. I will send his corpse to you tomorrow. Diablo said indifferently, as if a transcendent level 9 was like an ant in his eyes. Indeed, he had the capital. As 2 half-step void interpretation assassins that the Master of Undercurrent had spent a lot of money to nurture, he had the qualifications. He and the other person were there to deal with the Dragon Assassin organization. If the Dragon Assassin dared to enter another city, it would be the time for them to attack. Moreover, yesterday, he had just completed a mission in Bright Moon City, assassinating a rank 9 transcendent. Haha, good. I believe that kid is not worth mentioning in front of Uncle Diablo. I heard that Uncle Diablo did a big mission last night. Uncle Diablo, have some food. I'll bring you to see where that kid lives later. Young Master Ing could not help but laugh. He was the son of the Master of Undercurrent. A transcendent level 9 guy dared to insult him. He would let him know what regret was. Dragon King, the spy has been found. We can set up Bright Moon City now. In the evening, a group of Draconids came to the restaurant and reported to Wang Xian. Alright, let them take this. Also, pass all the information that we have gathered today to Ao Yao. Wang Xian nodded and said to them. Yes. The group of Draconids responded immediately and walked out of the room. Wang Xian stood up with a smile on his face. He opened the window and looked at the bustling Bright Moon City. The huge tower was even taller than Donghai City. There were all kinds of carriages and mounts on the road. The powerful families in Bright Moon City were also several times more powerful than Donghai City. There were 7 to 8 families with transcendent level 9 or even half-step void interpretation. Tomorrow, the dragon thorns will cover the entire sky. It won't be long before the entire Star Moon Kingdom will be covered by the dragon thorns. Wang Xian looked confident as he mumbled. Are you planning to spread the dragon thorns across the entire Transcendence continent? Feng Luan, who was at the side, asked with a smile when she heard his words. Of course. Let me know if you have any obstacles. The dragon thorns can help you solve them, Your Majesty. Wang Xian said jokingly. Feng Luan felt a warmth in her heart and a faint smile appeared on her face. Night had arrived once again. Compared to the liveliness yesterday, Bright Moon City was much quieter today. The matter of the 100 Beasts City had been resolved. Tens of thousands of people had died, so there wasn't much to be gained. In the entire Bright Moon City, only 2 families had obtained an extraordinary level 8 pet egg. That was all. The royal family of Star Moon Kingdom had only obtained 3 pet eggs, and only 1 transcendent level 9. However, Star Moon Kingdom had lost a profound void martial expert. It was a huge loss. The night grew deeper and deeper. At this moment, in the room beside them, young Master Ing and Diablo were sitting there with smiles on their faces. Uncle Diablo, I'll leave it to you. Young Master Ing said with a smile on his face. I used 1.5 minutes yesterday. Today, 1 minute later, I will bring his corpse over. Diablo said calmly, his body exuding a strong sense of confidence. Okay, Uncle Diablo. Young Master Ing smiled and nodded. He raised the wine glass in front of the table and gestured to Diablo. Diablo smiled and raised it to take a sip. Then, he walked out of the room. The door was closed, but his figure seemed to have turned into flowing water as he walked out through the cracks in the door. Compared to the dark sand, the darkness was even more terrifying. In the room, Wang Xian didn't rest. With Feng Luan by his side, it was impossible for them to rest. Wang Xian, who was cultivating, didn't sense anyone entering the room. Instead, Feng Luan, who was lying on the bed, opened her eyes. However, she closed them very quickly. A stream of water entered the room directly. Some illusory shadows appeared. The shadows were extremely illusory with faint ripples. He walked slowly towards Wang Xian. When he was 5 meters away from Wang Xian, he felt something. He opened his eyes slowly and looked ahead. Diablo was slightly surprised when he saw Wang Xian opening his eyes. However, he did not panic at all. Assassinating a guy who was even weaker than him was a piece of cake even if he was discovered by him. His body accelerated abruptly and the transparent dagger in his hand stabbed toward Wang Xian. Ha! However, what surprised him was that Wang Xian looked at him calmly. What was going on? How could a guy who was at Transcendent Level 9 be so calm? The powerhouse he assassinated last night didn't even know how he died. Chapter 1146, The Dragon Spike Came. He stared at Wang Xian's calm eyes. He was extremely shocked and had a bad feeling. However, before the dagger in his hand hit Wang Xian, he felt a chill on his neck. He widened his eyes and his eyes were filled with disbelief. How could this be? Who was the one who attacked him? Why didn't I sense it? Doubts flashed across Diablo's mind as he stared blankly at Wang Xian. However, with his neck pierced through, he couldn't say a word. He stared at Wang Xian and slowly lowered his raised arm. Half-step void interpretation level. What is the status of that young man? How could he mobilize an expert of half-step void interpretation from the Undercurrent Assassin organization? Only the Master of Undercurrent should be able to mobilize an expert of half-step void interpretation from Undercurrent. That young man is obviously not the Master of Undercurrent. Could he be the son of the Master of Undercurrent? Wang Xian guessed in a low voice. The fact that the Undercurrent Assassin organization had a half-step void interpretation expert was a little out of his expectations. Therefore, he could guess that the Master of Undercurrent was a void interpretation expert. This was forcing him to become the enemy of the Undercurrent Assassin organization. We are all enemies. No matter who you are, since you have provoked me, you must die. Even if you are the descendant of the Master of Undercurrent, hehe, just use it as a stepping stone for the dragon spike. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. Whenever the dragon spike went to a place, it would announce its arrival by assassinating a powerhouse or family. This time, he would use the son of the Master of Undercurrent as a stepping stone. Ao Yao, let's go and give him a surprise. Wang Xian smiled and moved. He opened the door and walked to the room beside. Ao Yao followed behind him with the dark corpse in her hands. Creak. Wang Xian pushed the door open. The door was not locked. Uncle Diablo, you are so fast. That kid was killed. The door was pushed open. Young Master Ing, who was sitting in front of the table and tasting the wine with a smile on his face, stood up happily and said. However, when he saw clearly that it was Wang Xian who walked in, he stopped talking and revealed a shocked expression. Is it called Diablo? Wang Xian smiled and scanned his surroundings. Bang! At this moment, Ao Yao, who was following behind him, waved his arm and threw the corpse in his hand into the room. Hiss! Bang! When he saw the corpse on the ground, young Master Ing could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. He retreated backward and crashed into the chair. You. He stared at Wang Xian with his eyes wide open. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Wang Xian looked at him with a smile. You sent people to kill me for 2 days in a row. Do you think I'm that easy to kill? As he spoke, he walked toward young Master Ing with a smile on his face. You. Don't. When he saw Wang Xian walking toward him, his facial expression changed. Suddenly, his body moved and he crashed toward the outside. Bang! However, at this moment, a black sharp weapon that looked like a sickle was placed on his neck. His body trembled as he tried to escape. His forehead was filled with cold sweat. Fear enveloped him completely. I said that I will make you regret it. Wang Xian looked at him indifferently. Don't kill me. If you dare to kill me, my father will definitely not let you off. Don't kill me. In the future, I will. Who is your father? Young Master Ying's face was filled with fear as he spoke. Wang Xian interrupted him and asked coldly. My father is the leader of the Undercurrent. My father is the leader of the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. If you dare to kill me, the Undercurrent will not let you off. My father will not let you off either. Young Master Ying's face was pale as he growled in a low voice, Don't kill me, don't kill me. Let me introduce myself first. Wang Xian wasn't too surprised when he heard his words. He smiled and said, I'm the leader of the Dragon Thorns, so. He smiled as he stared at young Master Ying. This smile made young Master Ying widen his eyes. His eyes were filled with despair. Dragon Thorns? He was the leader of the Dragon Thorns Assassin Organization. The Dragon Thorns that were currently in the limelight? Even his own father was filled with fear towards the Dragon Thorns. How? How did this happen? I said you will regret it. Wang Xian shook his head slowly. Just as he was about to shout, Ao Yao's scythe-like arm was placed on his neck. Hang his corpse on the city wall at the east gate and announce our arrival. Wang Xian looked at the two corpses on the ground and said to Ao Yao who was beside him. It's the Dragon King. Leave the rest to us. Ao Yao replied. This was not the first time that Ao Yao had done something like this. She was now completely familiar with the situation. Remember to update their identities. Wang Xian said faintly. Yes. Ao Yao left. At the same time, there were a group of strange demons around her. The secret was already set up. Ao Yao and the rest had obtained the addresses of all the powerful mercenary groups and families in Bright Moon City. Just like before, the first step to awe the entire Bright Moon City had arrived. The 40 strange demons brought by Wang Xian had arranged everything in less than 10 minutes. Congratulations, death had arrived at Bright Moon City. Bright Moon City was a big city. There were people guarding the city gate 24 hours a day. When the sky had just brightened, there were mercenary groups and businessmen who got up. At 4 o'clock in the morning, when the sky had just brightened, there were people walking out of the city. Let's set off early today. We can take advantage of the day to properly hunt down the fire beetles. We must return with a full load today. Alas, unfortunately, the Tian family head of the Tian family's trading firm was assassinated by an assassin from the undercurrent, causing the price of the fire beetle shells to drop significantly. Do you think the Sun family hired an assassin to kill the Tian family's head? Recently, the Sun family's trading company has had a huge conflict with the Tian family's trading company. Shu, lower your voice. This is very possible. However, the Undercurrent Assassin Organization is truly terrifying. They easily killed a top-tier expert at Transcendent Level 9. It's extremely terrifying, but I heard that there's some Dragon Assassin Organization in East Sea City. It's also very powerful. I heard that even the City Lord of East Sea City is helpless against it. How can it be as powerful as the Undercurrent Assassin Organization? One must know that the Undercurrent covers the entire Star Moon Kingdom. Even Star Moon Kingdom is helpless against it. It must be the Undercurrent Assassin Organization that's awesome. The Undercurrent has decades of foundation in Star Moon Kingdom. How can a dragon assassin compare to it? Early in the morning, a bleak wind blew past. A group of over 10 mercenary group members walked out of the city. The group chatted as they walked, discussing the major events that had happened in the past few days. The biggest event was none other than the incident in the Hundred Beast City. However, a very important event had also happened last night. It was the assassination of the head of the Tian family, a transcendent level 9 powerhouse, by the Undercurrent Assassin Organization. However, because the incident in the Hundred Beast City was too huge, it did not cause as much of a stir as usual. However, those who knew about it were still extremely shocked. Assassinating such an expert, the Undercurrent, was so terrifying. Chapter 1147, Dragon Spike vs. Undercurrent. The sky was dark, and the sun had yet to break. The city guards on the city wall looked towards the abyss-like wilderness. The sound of the waves could be heard clearly on the city wall. The group of mercenary group members talked about what happened in Bright Moon City as they walked out. They talked about Undercurrent, Dragon Spike, and the two assassin organizations. The Undercurrent Assassin Organization is too powerful. I heard that the Master of Undercurrent is even more mysterious. He should be an expert at the Profound Void Realm. For such an existence to want to assassinate someone at the Transcendent Realm, he could easily crush him to death. An old man sighed slightly as he talked about the Undercurrent assassination yesterday. He could be considered to have witnessed the rise and struggle of Undercurrent. The reputation of Undercurrent made one's heart palpitate. Fortunately, the price of hiring Undercurrent is too high. Otherwise, Bright Moon City would be even more chaotic than now. A middle-aged man smiled and looked forward. Ha! However, when he raised his head and looked into the distance, he was slightly stunned. Eh? What is that? Look, what is that on the city wall? The middle-aged man stretched out his finger and said to his companions beside him in surprise. What? There. There seem to be two people. There are two people hanging on the city wall. Hiss, is that a real person or a fake person? What's going on? The group of people raised their heads and revealed a surprised expression on their faces. All of them widened their eyes. Let's go and take a look. The old man in the middle said in surprise and quickly walked forward. The closer they got, the clearer the scene on the city wall became. When they walked forward, their bodies trembled. There really are two people nailed to the city wall. What's going on? Didn't the city guards on the city wall see it? The old man revealed a shocked expression. This was Bright Moon City, the second largest city in Star Moon Kingdom. How could there be two corpses hanging on the city wall? This was a provocation to Bright Moon City. The guards on the city walls clearly don't know the situation here. A middle-aged man said in a deep voice as he looked at the city guards standing on the city walls. Brother guards on the city walls, something has happened. Look over here. He shouted loudly at the city guards on the city walls. What? What happened? The city guards on the city wall heard their words, turned around and asked impatiently. Two corpses, there are two corpses hanging on the city wall. A young man hurriedly shouted. What corpses? How can there be corpses hanging on the city wall? We've been here all night. A middle-aged guard walked towards the city and said. In Bright Moon City, our city guards are here. As he spoke, he lowered his head. However, before he could finish his sentence, his eyes widened. Cough cough, someone come quickly, someone come quickly. He shouted loudly and his body moved. He directly jumped down and floated in midair. What's wrong? The other group of soldiers on the city wall looked over in surprise and directly flew over. The middle-aged man flew to the front of the city wall and looked at the two corpses hanging on it. His pupils could not help but shrink. When did two corpses appear? Why didn't they see them? This is. However, when he wanted to reach out and move the two corpses down, a shocked expression appeared on his face. On their chests, there were two red pieces of paper. And on the left and right side of the corpses, there were two names. The son of the Master of Undercurrent, Shadow Sky. The ACE Assassin of Undercurrent, Darkness. These two names caused his body to tremble. The Master of Undercurrent. The ACE Assassin of Undercurrent. He was very clear what these two represented. They were the underground king that covered the entire Star Moon Kingdom, the King of Assassins. An existence that everyone feared. However, these two people had left behind such words beside them. What's going on? He widened his eyes and exclaimed in disbelief. What's going on? This is... I know this piece of paper. It seems to be the symbol of the Dragon Assassin organization. No way, this can't be true, right? This young man and middle-aged man are the son of the Master of Undercurrent and the Ace Assassin of Undercurrent. How is this possible? Incredulous voices rang out one after another, and the city guards who had rushed over looked on in disbelief. What? That's the son of the Master of Undercurrent? The Ace Assassin of Undercurrent? The Dragon Assassin organization did this. However, the group of mercenary group members who had come to the bottom of the city wall were stunned. They looked at each other in disbelief. Just now, they had been discussing about the Undercurrent Assassin organization and the Dragon Assassin organization. In their opinion, Dragon Spike could not be compared to the old organization that had dominated Star Moon Kingdom for decades. In addition, the Undercurrent had assassinated an extraordinary level 9 expert yesterday. This made them feel that the Undercurrent was extremely powerful. However, now, the son of the Undercurrent Master and the Ace Assassin of the Undercurrent were hanging on the city wall. How the hell was this possible? That was Undercurrent, the Dragon Spike actually killed the son of the Master of Undercurrent and their Ace Assassin. For a moment, they felt their scalps go numb. What was the Dragon Spike doing? Was he going to make an enemy of the Undercurrent Assassin organization? Report to His Excellency immediately, quickly. This matter is not something we can interfere with. Beside the two corpses, the city guards looked at them in shock. This matter was no longer something that they could resolve. If this was really the son of the Master of Undercurrent, he was really the Ace Assassin of Undercurrent. Then this was a confrontation between two terrorist assassin organizations. Facing such a level of confrontation, even their city lord would probably find it very troublesome. The assassins who walked in the dark corners were the most feared. At the position of the city wall, the city guards' faces were filled with shock, and the mercenaries were also incomparably terrified. However, at this moment, in other parts of Bright Moon City, the sun had gradually risen, and many people had already woken up. Some people from the large clans and large mercenary groups also woke up. Very quickly, the people from the clans and mercenary groups discovered the contact information of the Dragon Assassin group that was placed in their hall. Dragon Assassin Group, I've heard of this before, but you don't need to look for an assassin. The Undercurrent is very powerful. I don't know how much the price of this Dragon Assassin Group is, but I didn't expect them to actually compete with the Undercurrent for business. This is going to be interesting. This is the Dragon Spike trying to occupy our Bright Moon City. Interesting, but it's possible that they don't have the strength to do so. When some family members saw the contact information of the Dragon Spike Assassin organization, they shook their heads carelessly. How could the Dragon Spike be as powerful as Undercurrent? Undercurrent had assassinated a transcendent level 9 powerhouse yesterday, and they had decades of foundation and reputation. If they wanted to find an assassin, the first thing they would think of was naturally the Undercurrent Assassin organization. They would not choose the Dragon Assassin organization. Who knew how strong this assassin organization was? How good was their reputation? However, just as they did not take it to heart, a piece of news shook the entire Bright Moon City. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.